girls with their nails done. Girls with their nails done.
Oh, good afternoon, people. Hope everyone's good. And we're seeing a lot of news coming on at Spurs. How much bullshit, how much real, I suppose time will tell. I can tell you one thing, sitting here in this place and then having to go out in the back garden, I cannot stand this heat over here. You can't bloody breathe. It feels like something standing on your chest. Take me back out to Malia, take me back out to Zante, Ibiza, Napa, wherever, where I feel like I can breathe. Over here, soon it comes back down to about 22, I'll be a happy man. So, where are we going to go? There's a lot of news coming on, as we expected. A lot of news of transfers, a lot of things that Vinay has had to say and all the others. Is this just going to be more bullshit? Is it going to be true? I mean, what we're used to at Spurs is just bullshit, basically. Every time we hear the stories, a lot of us fall for it. Maybe we can live off a bit of hope. Maybe they will change things. I suppose we're only going to be able to tell at the end of the transfer window, aren't we? On how serious we are and how much business we mean. We've got to get some sort of job done here. We have to improve. We have to get our act together, basically. That's 2 seasons now, back to back at 17th. And really, that just isn't good enough, is it? We need improvement now. I mean, surely with these fellas, these owners, even if they're not really interested on the football side as much, they got to look at their business. Then look at your business side. What's destroying your business side? The fact that we're so shit on the football side. It's absolutely not going to do their business no favours if we end up 17th again, or if we don't get our act together and get rid of some of these players and get some new players in now. We can seriously be looking at relegation next season. Even with De Zerbi as manager. Yeah, he saved our ass, but would he be able to pull it off for a whole season? I very much doubt it. I mean, you look at some of the managers we've had, and they have had some stick, and deservedly, they've had some bullshit, yeah? But you take a couple of steps back now, and you do look at it, and you just think, was it as much as the manager's fault as a lot of us thought it was? I'm starting to agree with people that maybe it wasn't so much of the manager's fault. Yes, definitely a big deal to deal with it, but with a lot of these players and the weak mentality they have got, and I suppose with quite a few of them, you can also say with the lack of skill, the lack of coordination, haven't seemed to got a brain on the pitch. That must be bloody hard to manage a bunch of people like that. Especially when they're all professional football players and most of them don't seem to have a fucking clue what they're doing. So were the managers at fault so much? Things have to change here in a big way. I'm going to say hello to a couple of people in a minute. But like I said, we need to change. The players we're going to bring in, how many? I don't know. They need to be able to make a difference. They need to have experience as far as I'm concerned. Because one thing we do definitely lack on certain types of that pitch is experience. We haven't got strong minds on that pitch. I'd say on that whole pitch, the two strongest minds we've got is Paulinho, if he even stays at Spurs now. Rumour has it that he's going Sporting, but then there's some rumours saying that Spurs are going to try and hang on to him. I would hope that we try and hang on to him. If we let him go and he would have stayed, I don't think that will be the smartest idea. But I definitely do think he's the strongest brain we've got on that pitch. Along with that, I would say Van der Ven, but I must admit there were certain points of last season, especially towards the end of the season, where he did disappoint me a lot because he did seem to turn into a little bit of a spoiled bitch on the pitch. I can get the frustration in that, but if you're that strong on the head, you got to get your shit together. If you're a captain, you got to keep your head together. If you're going to lead people, you need to be strong. You need to be able to control a system, whether it's 3 people, whether it's 300 people, whether it's 30 people. If you are a leader, you are an owner, whatever way you want to put it, let's say leader, by manager, by captain, you have got to have the head and the strength to take the shit and also improve things at the place, to keep control of it. And that is one thing we definitely lack there. I mean, I think we can all agree Romero being captain didn't work out very well, did it? A few of us thought it would. I thought maybe this, but he is just not mentally strong, is he? He might have a temper on him. He might be up for a punch up in a pub or on the pitch or whatever, but he definitely hasn't got a leader's mentality to control the team and lead by role, has he, basically? So we definitely need some leaders on that pitch. We want players that will make a difference. We don't just need players for that first team. We need players for this squad as a whole. We don't need a squad as deep as last season because we have no European football. And I do think with that, that is going to be a big help on the season we've got coming up. The fact that a majority of the time, we literally only have a game a week. We've seen it with several teams, Man U being the latest, Chelsea when it happened to them. Now, I'm not putting us on their level, but as soon as they went down out of Europe and had a season without being in Europe, it seemed to roll a lot easier for them. A lot less pressure, a lot more time to train, a lot more time to sink in together and sink in with a manager and everything, get your facts right. I am glad we are not in Europe this year. And I'm still a strong believer of winning that Europa Cup damaged us badly. It didn't do us no favours as far as I'm concerned. Yes, it was nice to have a cup behind us. Finally, we broke it. We got a cup. But it definitely just put wallpaper over, not even cracks in the wall, but bullet holes in the wall. And I'm talking bullet holes that it looks like someone put off a fucking MP5 at it, not just 1 or 2 with a handgun. That wall was a mess. And we just put wallpaper over it. And as people do, we fall for it. Me being guilty of it in some aspects, others being guilty for it much more, others being guilty for it much less. I think we've all been guilty of it to an extent. But it definitely done us no favours. The signings, 1 or 2 have ended up all right. Others did not end up very great, did they? January, what a total embarrassment. We need to get our shit together. We really do need to get our act together. And if they don't pull this off, we can be looking at relegation next year. So I'm going to go say hello to a couple of people. And yeah, let's roll on. I don't intend this to be a long show. Maybe I shouldn't have said that because usually when I do say that, it does end up going longer, but I don't intend to do a long one here. Just definitely need my cold orange juice doing this. And the other thing, managed to stop smoking 99% of the time. Okay, a vape's still a vape, but it smells better in the place than smoking a roll up. But every time I seem to watch a Spurs game, or did watch a Spurs game, or after a Spurs game, or even talk about a Spurs game, I needed to smoke. Calm myself down, especially after that game on West Ham. I won't deny it. By the end of the game, I was well and truly half cut because I had to have a drink before I watched the game and went through a packet, basically. And I needed to do that. But now Spurs ain't playing. I can think of my health. I can think of being mentally chilled out a lot more with a lot of other things going on in the background, but that's just minors compared to the issues that Spurs put in your head. I mean, they do like kicking us in the bollocks, don't they, and giving us a hard time, basically. So let's say hello to a couple of people. Lisa Davis, big up, Dan. Hope you're good. Much love. Yep, hope you're good as well in this hot afternoon. Proper sticky as anything out there. And silent violence forever. Okay. That's the sort of name I would have expected to see when I'm playing Call of Duty at someone on the PlayStation. But fair enough. I like the name. Notifications working, blood. Yeah, cheers, fella. And Kale, what are you saying here? Sell all strikers. Look, I'm totally with you on that one. Richarlison, what a crock of shit that is. I mean, don't get me wrong. He scored a couple of blinding goals, and his goals did matter this year because we had so lack of them. But he is... Every time he even touches the ball, it bounces about 5 yards off his feet. He's one I do definitely want to see the back of. And Solanke as well. And people justify this crap. Why do we go through this time and time again? I get there's the hope side of it, but why justify the shit? Just turn around and say, no, we want better than that. That is crap. But the players we're going to have to turn around and look at now, we need standards to get stability now, not thinking about a top four. So we need to even take a step back on the players we look at. But even to get top 10, I think we need better than Richarlison and Solanke. I mean, that strike force we had up front, quite a few people have said it. It was just shit. End of. That's the easiest way I can put it. I mean, that is a relegation standards front line, and it showed. But I totally agree. Sell all strikers. But then we need to get strikers in, and strikers are few and far between these days. Very hard to find. Especially a good one. They're definitely not the easiest ones to come by now. And Dean, big up, mate. Afternoon all. The PR machine is in full force. Don't believe the hype. I totally agree with you. And that Vinay is full of shit as well. Flicks, hope you're doing well, mate. Afternoon to all. And Flicks also saying Robertson done deal. Yep, I'll go into that one a bit later. I mean, personally, I'm happy with the deal. Personally, I think he is exactly the type of player we need. Will we get 32 games out of him? We go to that soon. Dean also waving, I presume now. I like to think. And Tom saying, like asking, is it actually done? From what I've read, it's pretty much done. Is it done and dusted? I believe it when I actually see him in a Spurs kit, not an actual AI. And Carol also saying, last year, West Ham survived relegation, and now look at them. 100% right. That is basically what I am saying. 2 warnings we've had. And what is the saying they make? 3 strikes and you're fucked. 3 strikes and you're out. If Phoenix don't back De Zerbi next season, we will be next. 100% agree with you, mate. I said it, not that it's January, the January before. But if we don't get our shit together in the next year or two, we will get relegated. And a lot of people thought it was too big to happen again. We're not too big to go down. And we have just proven that. Skin of our teeth is an understatement. Mike, how we doing, mate? Yo. Hope you're doing good. What, are you on your lunch break or you're at work? Hope everything's good in Poland for you. Tom also saying injuries, no Europe. De Zerbi will change that. Again, another one, time will tell. And Kuda saying senses. Don't forgive me for pronouncing names. I'm absolutely terrible at pronouncing names if they ain't English names. But yeah, it says Sensei's going to sign from Bournemouth, another one on a freebie. I won't be complaining. I mean, if we get stable players in for that squad, in for that team, and we can get them on free, go for it. That just means we can spend more serious money on bigger players that we need, because it is the whole team, the whole squad that needs a complete and utter rebuild. And how much of that can you do in one window? Ghost, how we doing, fella? Big up, Dan. Big up to you too. And Kudos, here we go again. Yes, we do. Tom, have they actually signed yet? Well, from what I've read, there's basically two of them that are close to going through. So, how are we doing? Hope everything's good with you. Kingsky also strong. Look how he came back from his European disaster. Totally agree with that. Yeah. I mean, after that disaster he had, I thought his career was fucked. I thought game over. I mean, look what happened to the Liverpool fellow when he screwed it up against Real Madrid. But that was strong mentality from him. That was strong mentality to come back. I'll give him that, and he's made some brilliant saves. But do I think he is good enough for our first choice keeper? No. I think we need an established goalkeeper in there with more experience and someone that Kingsky can either learn from or have to fight for his place. I know a lot of people will try and justify him that he's earned his number one shirt, basically, and that. No, he hasn't. Not for me. Not over a matter of 5 or 6 games. I'm sorry, a goalkeeper does. Now, if you're going to compare him to Vicario, then yeah. If it's one or them, I'm going to have to go with Kingsky now. But it's not. Vicario is going to be out on his way. Hopefully, we get another goalkeeper in now. And he's going to have to fight for his place, because I'm sorry, 5 games don't do it for me. But I do also agree with what other people have said. I mean, I think Eugene was the main one who put it over to me. Have said, is he the priority of what we need to sort out? Is he one of the worst problems we've got? Honestly, no. I think there's other positions we need to sort out first. But it is definitely a position I would like us to sort out. And Kay also saying to Tom, I believe in De Zerbi, but not Enoch. I think we all feel the same now. Going to go through a couple of more and then go through what I've basically got written here. I always need to write my stuff down, otherwise I'll forget it. And Sue saying silly season is on us. Silly is an understatement there. Lily White Lane, how we doing, fella? Hello, Dan. Been doing my own content. Let me start again before I bite my fucking tongue off. Hello, Dan. Been doing my own content, but away from the general Spurs YouTube space for a while. I don't blame you. Good to see you still streaming, mate. How have you been? Things have been fine, mate. Got a lot going on in the background. Got a kid on the way, so I had to take some time off of this. In the middle of rebuilding this place. My room still gets to look like a mess, and I'm probably going to end up losing this room in the long run. But I just had a lot more important things to go on. And I must admit, one of the last things I needed to do with a lot of stuff going on in life is to come on here and talk about Spurs consistently. I mean, next thing you know, you'll have me on medication for depression. And I think that can go down with most of us, can't it? And Kudos also saying, Sensi is an upgrade on Romero in my book. Totally agree with you. And I'm going to start going through that now. Like the picture I'm going to bring up on the screen. Now, for some people, it might be a picture where you can read it. Other people, if it's a small thumbnail, you're not necessarily going to be able to see it up on the screen, the writing clearly. But this is my point on what I'm putting here, basically. To dare is to do. That is meant to be our saying. Who dares wins. I mean, we are in that much of a mess at Spurs that we basically need the SAS in there, as far as I'm concerned, to teach this lot on how to play football. Seriously, this is the sort of thing we need. SAS principles. Discipline. Do what you hate to do, but do it like you love it. Accountability. Take ownership. Performance. Set the standards. Always strive to improve. Adapt. Overcome. Adapt to win. Overcome all obstacles. Teamwork. One team, one mission. No excuses. Get it done. Mission first. Never quit. And now, anyone who's into that sort of stuff and knows anything about the army, anything about the SAS. They are the best of the best. I mean, even down to the point where they train the Navy SEALs. I mean, the Americans go on about their shit and they haven't got a fucking clue what they're talking about because it's us lot who train them how to do it. But anyone who's got half a clue what I'm on about will know exactly, basically, what I'm saying here. We literally have to go through, this club literally has to go through not far off SAS training to pull its finger out its arse and get its act together. I mean, literally everything I've just read out there is everything that Tottenham just do not have. And that is literally what we need to do. We might as well get the military in here to sort this shit out. We're definitely, it's what we need to do, basically. It's the levels we need to go. Sue for the super sticker, thank you very much. Much appreciated. It is literally where we have to go. So, with what Vino said today, was it today? Yesterday, I think he said it. Starts talking about Spurs being too much of a nice place. Now, I'm someone who's agreed with that for a long time. Not just Spurs itself, but the training facilities, the fans, too sentimental, too nice. I mean, when Harry Kane went Bayern Munich, he talked about how they lost the game and the shit hit the fan. Ex-Chelsea players have spoke about it. When things used to go a bit wrong there, the owner used to come in on the helicopter and they used to shit a brick. And that is how it should be. It shouldn't be that you go and lose a game and then you just walk off. Don't worry, we'll do better next time. Shit happens. I know shit happens in life, but that should not be the attitude of a winning team. That should not be the attitude of any club whatsoever. Don't worry, we'll just do better next time. And we're the ones who seem to have that attitude. And with Vino saying that, he's right on what he's saying. But, and there's always a but to it, isn't there? And with the but to it, he's been part of the problem. The fella's full of shit. I mean, for me, he's been worse than Levy. For me, he has actually been worse than Levy. To me, he looks creepier. He looks slimier. He looks like he's got less of a clue what he's doing, and that going some. And then the way he sat there, I mean, I listened to it on TalkSport this morning, and Simon Jordan, like the fella or not, I like the fella personally. I like him because he's a prick. He's a fucking prick. He knows what he is. He knows what he wants to be. He doesn't hold it back for no one. He doesn't take no shit. He just says it how he sees it. It doesn't mean he's always right. But what was it he called him? A slimy little snake or something. And he is 100% right. I mean, Vinay sat there and basically on the table with Levy, and that had got to be the creepiest, most horrible thing you've ever had to watch. I mean, the slime oozing out of them too while they were talking was fucking horrendous. I mean, even down to the fact that their hands were under the table. What they were doing, I don't want to know. I'm not going to even try it. And what a slimy little rat that is. And he's, I would love to see. He's one for me that I would hope we'd see the back of, but I don't think we will. Lange, another one. He ain't no better. He's got to go as well. I mean, definitely, if it's one or the other, who do you pick to go? Do you flick a coin on it? Or preferably they both fuck off. But you have to flick a coin on that one. For me, it's Lange that's got to go then. Because he's the one that I think is more likely that we see the back of, basically. But Vinay is right on what he's saying. It is too nice at the club. He wasn't wrong. But when someone like that goes and starts talking about stuff like that, you find it very hard to take it serious. You just think, you slimy little prick. We know what you are. We can't fucking stand you. So you find it hard to just take it serious, basically. But he's not wrong on what he's saying. That's the thing. That's what makes it almost annoying about it. He's not actually wrong on what he's saying. So things do need to improve in every which way. I mean, look at the injuries we were getting last season. Now, some people are saying that's down to the training facilities. Some people are also saying that's down to the medical team. I think it's a bit of everything, basically. I think our training facilities, like it says, are too nice. I don't think players are pushed to the same level that they used to be. The physicality of the game has totally changed. And it's more of an athletics game now. It used to be you had to be a footballer and then try and be an athlete. These days, you've got to be an athlete and then try and be a football player. Try and be a footballer. And I don't think that does no favors for any of the players out there, basically. I mean, the amount of sprints they have to make in a game now is significantly more than it used to be. The style is much different. Some say it's faster. Do I think the game's faster? Overall, in some ways, yes. Because the way it used to be, from how I remember it, you had bursts, basically. And what I mean by that is that you had a burst down the left wing, down the right wing, through the middle, or he'd cut in and cross it. Now they're running back from the halfway line a lot. They're sprinting up and down the pitch, a lot of them. So they're going to get more injuries. And on the physicality side, I just don't think they do the same sort of training, basically. And I don't think that does any favours for any sort of player. But some of the injuries we got last season were horrendous. They weren't just someone just getting a little injury and out for 3 weeks here and there. We had several players going out for 3 months, 4 months, basically, and others going out for a season. We had players coming back like Kudus, and then he goes and steps on the training and he fucks himself up again for the rest of the season. It was like exactly what Maddison done. So after season, like the time he took out last season, comes back on, bang, does himself up again like a kipper. And you just think, what is that down to? Is that down to the players not not strong enough anymore? Is it down to the physicality? Is it down to the training? Is it down to the medical? I don't know. I think it has got a bit of everything. But how many times now does it say we have changed that medical team? I think that's about 3 times in the past 2 years I can remember that we've actually changed that medical team over, basically, and it still doesn't seem to do us no favors. Some people say it's the pitch. Is it really down to do with the pitch, or were we just actually that unlucky? In that aspect, I genuinely don't know. Is it down to the style of play? I think the previous season before, I don't think Angie's way helped some players, the way we had to do that much sprinting back. Is De Zerbi's way going to not do some of the players any favours? We're just going to have to tell. Time will tell on that aspect. But hopefully we can get our players fit and running next season and not going through the same sort of injury issues that we had last season. Because that definitely done us no favours with that one. So something in that training facility definitely has to improve. The medical team definitely have to improve. I mean, Sonny, what you're saying here, I'm just reading what you said here quickly. All right, Dan in the chat room, roasting here, man. 30.5 in my living room. Living room fan don't help. No, the problem is when you use a fan too much, mate, it ends up blowing hot air in. It's like they say, the worst thing you can do is actually open all your windows and doors because it lets the bloody hot air in. You can't seem to win. You feel like you can't fucking breathe here. If you look at V9 interview with Levy before and how he practically licked him, look how he blames him now. Exactly. He just puts it clean over onto the other side. And that's what you always get someone doing. Someone who cannot sit there, as far as I'm concerned, and put their hands up and accept, yeah, we fucked up. We need to improve. But not just put the blame onto someone else. Take the blame yourself when you're to fault. When you are at fault, take the blame yourself. Be a fucking man. Grow up here. If you're at fault, put your hands up and admit to it. Sometimes you need to lose to learn. That can be the best. That can be the best training out there. That can be the best way to learn. Losing at times can actually be the best thing to improve you, but not finishing 17th for 2 seasons on the trot. And you have to take accountability for your shit. And he seemed to say a few of the right things, like we said, but then just go and put the blame elsewhere. Just go and push it elsewhere. Sometimes you just have to be more of a man and accept defeat, or you just have to be more of a man and walk away and put your hand up to it. Sometimes you just have to agree to disagree. We know not all of us can do that. Some people find it easier than others, but each to their own. I suppose that was what makes that's what makes us Spurs fans unique. We're all a bit fucked up in our own little way because we all support Tottenham Hotspur, so there can't be something totally right with all of us in that aspect. So where's De Zerbi going to go with players? I think we're already starting to get a little picture on what he's looking at, what he's looking for. Now, with the ones I've seen so far, I must admit, I don't have a problem with any of it. And what you're saying, Nick, will you take Vlahovic, Dan? He's going to be, he can't be any worse than what we got. I don't think he's lived up to his potential in Juventus that he had at Fiorentina. I think his wages would be fucking horrendous, but then who else is going to pay that sort of stuff? Yeah, why not? Can he really be worse than Richarlison and Solanke? So yes, I would take him. But with the players that we've gone for, Robertson, I personally think he's a good buy. On a freebie, okay, a player, I think he's a bit past his best. But is he any worse than what we've actually got as a left back? I mean, he's actually a proper left back and can play wing back. I know he's lost his legs. So if you play him just as an out and out left back, because if we play a flat back line, he's better than what we got. I mean, Ben Davies, for God's sake, man, fuck off. Get rid of him. Seriously, this fella has to go. Do you know what? If we keep Ben Davies and then just say, do you know what? You're not on the team no more, but we're going to coach you up and get you as a coach. Fine, go and do it. Get him away from that squad. He has been there, what, 10 years now? 10 years? 9 years? What is it, 10 or 11 years? Something along those lines. Get him out. Who would you rather have sitting there, whether it's in the squad or actually on there? I mean, Udogie, for me, he has not lived up to standards at all. Very injury prone. Very injury prone. When I watched him in Italy, significantly better. But I think you can look at a couple of these players as well and say that since they've been at Spurs, they've had inconsistent managers there. The amount of managers that we've been through, from one style to another, one style to another. I'll take Vlahovic over that one. One style to another, and quite a few of them haven't been played to what they are best at. And when it comes down to that, I think it's basically we need consistency there. We need some consistency with this team on how we play. We need the consistency there on the style of what we're going to do with the players that we're going to have coming in as well, and stick to it, basically. But going back on the Robertson thing, I think it's a good idea. I can't see nothing wrong with it, personally. And what you say, if you want to be disingenuous, you're lying to yourself. Well, call it what you want, mate. It's purely opinionated at the end of the day. If you're talking about your friend Richarlison, I think he's fucking awful and he's shit. But if you like him, whatever turns you on at the end of the day, fella, we don't all play cricket the same way, if you get what I mean. And when it comes down to that, I think Robertson, especially on a free, is definitely a good idea. Whether he's squad or whether he's first team, he's established, he's a leader, he's a proven leader, he's won things. I mean, who are the younger players going to look up to more? If we're bringing younger players in through the youth and that, and we've got younger players in that team, what sort of players are they going to look up to? I mean, if you're a fresh midfielder coming in there, are you going to be looking up to the midfielders we've got now? Maybe Paulinia, yeah. Bentancur, he's got a bit of experience, but again, not a leader. If you're a defender, who are you going to look up and listen to more? Ben Davies or Roberts? Look what he's done. For a freebie, I can't say that's bad. And with the standards that we've come down to, the levels that we've come down as a team, as a club, how can you actually argue with something like that? Really? We need players to give us stability now. We need players to give us consistency. Do I think we get 38 games a season out of him? No, I don't. Do I think we can push 20 on him? Maybe, as long as he stays away from the injuries. And we need players like that. We need leaders on this pitch, like I said at the start, because we don't have any, bar maybe Paulinho there, and chances are he might not even be staying. So we need to get some established players in that team, experience. So I'm not going to complain about it, but I see a lot of people saying that they don't think he's good enough anymore. We finished 17th for 2 years, for fuck's sake. How can you say that a player like that is not good enough for us anymore? At the start of this season, when there was options out there, and you'll always have different opinions on it, you always will, fair enough. But how can anyone tell me, yes, I know he got injured, but that Jack Grealish was not good enough for Spurs? How can anyone tell me that when we was all talking about it, Lookman, not good enough for Spurs? I mean, the list can go on with people. How can people say that those sort of players were not good enough for, thank you, were not good enough for that squad? But I think that is another problem we have here. We seem to think that we are entitled to a fourth place. We seem to think that we are entitled to these big players. And we don't. We're not. Look at what we do. Or what we don't do, I suppose, is the better way to look at it. So when it comes to who else we're looking at, Sensi from Bournemouth, again, another one. I'm not going to complain about that. 29, established defender, good tackler, level-headed, quite good in the air from what I've seen him. Got a lot more of a straight ahead than Romero. I mean, the sooner that prick goes, the better. I'll come to him. Another one, especially if we get him on the free, which it looks like we are, I'm not going to complain about that. That's another established, consistent defender. And that is what we need there. Again, consistent players. Next season, I think we need to step it down a peg and be looking at more of a 10th place. And if we finish 8th place, be more than satisfied. It will be significant improvement. No, people don't want to do that. I'm not a person who likes to wait for things. It's like when I buy something, I want it yesterday, not tomorrow, not today. I want it yesterday. And where we've been held back with so much at Spurs, that is how a lot of us are thinking. I get that. But I think we're just going to finally have to stick by a manager through thick and thin, stick by some players, and accept that we are not going to get the quality players necessarily that we want. I hate saying this and using it as an example, but everyone else seems to. So look what those pricks up the road done. What was it? Eighth, and then started building on it. It's what we're going to have to do. That's 2 years in 17th, 2 seasons 17th. This season, skin of our teeth from relegation. So instead of looking at top 4, we need to be looking at more 10th place. Yes, I know people are going to say, look what Man U went and done. I know that, yeah? But in that aspect, we're not Man U. We're not going to spend the money they spend. We're not going to go out and pay the wages that they pay. They looked at their problems. Strikers, wingers. So they went and spent, what, 200 million on the front three? 250, something along them lines. Goalkeeper, Unana. What a crock of shit he turned out to be. Whereas in Italy, no two ways about it, he was very good. But over here, it fell to pieces there. So what did they go and do? Replace him straight away. and they sorted it out up front because they will spend the money and they will pay the wages, and they've still got that bit of pulling power of being Manchester United. And now they're back in the Champions League. We'll see how Carrick does with them. I think what he basically done was just got on playing the right way. And there you go. Look where they finished. But I don't think we can quite compare to Man U in that aspect unless we are going to spend that sort of money. And I don't quite see that one happening, if I'm going to be honest. Will it just be little transfers? Will it just be freebies? I don't think it's going to be like that either. The board are going to have to get it together if they want to save their business. But I do think that Sensei from Bournemouth is a good idea, and especially on a free. He reminds me of Danzo a bit in the aspect of just a no-nonsense centre-back, get your shit together. He does get forward a bit more than Danzo does, and better ball control. As I say, I've only seen him play about, 9 times, 10 times, so I can't really judge him properly like a lot of people on here could. But I would play him over Romero all day long. Give me Milenkovic, I'd play him over Romero all day long. Go give me the one that plays along. What's his name? The one who plays at Milinkovic, the one who plays alongside him at Forest. I'd take him over Romero. 2 years now, I've said this prick has got to go. He does us no favours. On his odd game, he is a brilliant player. He's got the capability there, but he has not got the mentality. He is not consistent enough. But how much do we go and sell him for? I mean, are Spurs just going to be stupid and start saying we want 70, 80 million for him? People aren't going to pay that money. People in Europe don't have that sort of money, except PSG, except Munich. Barcelona don't even chuck that sort of money about even more. Even Real Madrid are a bit more careful with their money these days. So who's going to really go out and buy him for 60, 70 million? And if anyone who's got half a brain, no, they're not going to do it. So I think if we put a 35, 40 million price tag on him, we might be able to get rid of him. Personally, give me 30 million, I'd let Romero go. I really don't rate him that much. That is how much I don't rate him. I'd rather play Van der Ven and Danzo there. At least with Danzo, you're getting a consistent game, for God's sake. So we go and get Robertson on a free. We go and get Sensi on a free. I don't think it's nothing to complain about. But again, you are going to see fans consistently complain about it. And in that aspect, you can't keep everybody happy. I get that. You can make a cup of coffee for everyone. You're always going to be that one who sits there and wants a cup of tea. I ain't a big fan of tea. Herbal tea, I don't mind. It's nice before I go to bed. But that's different to a normal cup of tea. It's a lot more relaxing, especially after a day of watching Spurs. But either way, that's a different thing. You're never going to keep everybody happy. It can't be done. It's impossible. I mean, even if we went out and spent 350 million on players and ended up finishing fourth, you're still gonna get someone there who did not like certain players or did not like something we've done. You can't keep everybody happy. It can't be done. But what we need to do is get a majority of us happy, and that is with improvement. It's going to be a bit hard not to improve on the last 2 seasons, isn't it? Because really, all we need to do is finish 15th or upwards, and we've improved. But we need to be a bit stronger than that. We need to look a bit stronger than 15th. And the 2 players I've just said, putting them in the squad, I think gives us that bit of depth on there, extra in defence. And we're definitely going to be going for others as well. A lot of what I keep reading about is actually defenders. I mean, the other one at Brighton that De Zerbi worked with, I can't pronounce his name. What's his name? Van Hecker. We're meant to be looking at him as well. So if we go and get him as well, that would basically be 3 defensive-minded players we've gone and put in there. Now, is defence our biggest problem? I don't think so. But again, like I said, 2 of those players are going to be on a freebie if we get him. So why is anyone going to complain about it? And with that one, we've then got to start looking at a midfield as well. But up front is our most important thing that we need to sort out. Without a doubt, up front is going to have to be our most important bit we need to sort out. We need established striker up there. We need someone who can bang in at least 15 to 20 goals in the season. And then we need some backup for them. If we keep signing crap like Tell, that was just shocking. We got him on loan and then we went and signed the fella after how bad he was for us. And then look at what he goes and plays on the pitch for us. The best cross that he does for us was at the wrong end of the fucking pitch in front of our own goal. Having players like that in your first team, having players like Gray, Odebert. Now, I know he didn't play for end up half the season because he was that knackered, because he was injured. This is why we are where we are. Having players in your first team like Archie Gray, this is why we end up where we are. And then this is why we need to go to the established players. This is why we need to go and get the better players. I mean, surely it talks for itself. When you've got players like Bergvall on there, who I do think, go put him and Gray on loan is one of the other things I think we should be doing this season. And do you know what? Tell Mikey Moore, stay back up at Rangers, mate. Do another season up there. I mean, if ever there's a league that's going to toughen you up a bit, it is the Scottish League, basically. I mean, there's not much skill in it, that's for sure. It's very much similar to our Championship. Rated a lot lower, I get that, but it's definitely a physical game of football up north. That for up north, anyway. And I think that would do Mikey Moore wonders. Stay at Rangers another season if they want to keep him there. And I can't see why they wouldn't actually want to keep him there. Go and get Gray out on loan. Go and get Bergvall out on loan. I mean, that's all he ever does is run forward with the ball and then does nothing. No direct ball, no cross, no shot, no short pass. Once in a blue moon, maybe. But we got to put this lot out on loan and get the proper players in there to take the place. I mean, other players that we've got. I mean, another player, that we're meant to be looking at that I recently read about. John Stones. Now, again, another one. If we get him on a freebie, it seems to be a lot of defensive ones we're looking at. I don't think he's a bad idea. He's a bit injury prone over the past year or two. I'll give it that. But on a free, and if we ain't paying him stupid wages, again, he's another one that would give us depth in the squad. We don't have to play him every game. But he's been there, done it, got the bloody storybook. A lot more than most of our players have. So again, as a squad player, I can't see why anyone would complain with that. I mean, why? It makes our squad better. But then we need to start looking at first team players. I mean, Van der Ven, did I think he'd be here by the end of the season? Personally, I thought he was going to be off. I thought he was going to be gone. And I thought Liverpool were going to be the ones looking at him. But after the way his second half of the season basically collapsed a bit, if we offer him a contract and say, I mean, people were saying that if we sell him, they want 100 million for him. I mean, seriously? 100 million for Van der Ven? What, just because he can sprint? Good defender for me. Nothing more, nothing less. Not solid in the air. I think the thing that definitely does him major favours is his pace. Good at tackling. Good at getting forward as a ball-playing defender. He's a good defender. But is he 100 million? Is he 120 million like some were saying? No, he ain't. Not for me. But would I happily keep him at Spurs? Yes, I would. I think we need to go and offer him a decent contract. I mean, the fact that Archie Gray gets paid more fucking money than he does just takes the piss on its own. So I think he's one that has said, so it says on the news, but we know what the news is like. The news could just be bullshit. We know that. But you can only go by what you read. That we're meant to be offering him a contract. So I say go offer him the contract. Get it done early. Same as these other ones we're talking about, whether they're free or it's a bit of money up front, go get at least 3 or 4 players in there before the World Cup. Some of the players are going to be a lot easier to get in during the World Cup because they just ain't going to be in the World Cup. But I think we need to get some players established in there now. The sooner, the better, basically. Because one thing we are definitely known for is leaving it until later. And then when it gets later, it gets harder to do the job. You can't always rely on a Black Friday and getting that deal at the end of the day because someone else would have already come in and nicked those nice pair of Armani jeans you was looking at the day before. So that's what happens on the sales. Or you go and do what we did and got Moani, which I didn't think would be the worst idea. And look how shit that fella ended up. I think with Moani, we just got him for the wrong reasons. I'll go to him in a second with that one. But Van der Ven, give him the contract. Put it on the table now. And if he wants to stay, then he'll stay. If he don't want to go, if he wants to go, then fine. Let him go. Put the price tag on him, let him go. But if no one puts in a bid for him, he stays on less money than Archie Gray. So I could see him signing a contract with a buyout clause. And will it be 100 million? I very much doubt that. But I think he would accept a contract because I don't think there ain't going to be many teams going in for him. Because the second half of the season, like I said, he definitely came down a peg or two as well. And I think the other thing that done the fella no favours whatsoever is I think his mentality did him no favours either. And he disappointed quite a few of us. Because for the first half of the season, let's say the first third of the season, he looked like our most established player. He looked like he had the mentality for it. And then he lost his head, basically, along with the others, and then just started to look like a bit of a spoilt little brat, basically. And he pissed a lot of people off. And I don't think that would have done him no favours in the football world either, when there's a few teams who would have looked at that and thought, do we want to play with that mentality at the club? I honestly don't reckon that done him no favours. Offer him the contract. I personally think we get him for another season. He's a player that I would definitely like to keep. I mean, when you look at who we've got, I mean, De Zerbi sits there and says there's 11 players there that he would want to keep. And for me, I don't even think there's that many there that I'd want to keep. But I think there's about 8 players there that we could call that we would keep as squad players. I mean, how many players would we actually keep in that first team, realistically? If we're going to play, yeah, Flicks, totally agree with you, mate. He is a complete and utter see you next Tuesday, definitely. Or Thursday, whatever day you're free. But I can't stand him. Haven't liked him for ages. But who do we actually have that you would want to keep on that first team? There's definitely not many players there that you would actually keep for that first team. I mean, if we're playing a 4-2-3-1, I'm looking at, I want a new goalkeeper. I want at least one new centre-back. Personally, if I'm playing with a flat-back 4, if I'm playing with right-back, left-back more than wing-back, then I want a right-back. Then I want a left-back as well. If we keep Paulinho, then I at least want another midfielder. Someone who can control the game, basically. A ball-playing defender, ball-playing midfielder is basically what I want now. Someone who's got a bit of creativity to him. Someone who can do a good direct ball. Someone who can control the pace of a game. Doesn't have to be quick. Locatelli is one who I would love there. Do I see that happening? Not a chance in hell. But he is the sort of player I would want there. And go put him next to someone like Gallagher, or on another day Paulinho, or on another day Bentancur, and do a bit of rotation. I think that midfield could work. I don't think midfield is our biggest problem with what we've got there. It's just we've got no fucking creativity in that team whatsoever. And then you look at up front. We definitely need backup on the right-hand side. I don't think Kulusevski's ever coming back, if I'm going to be honest. And what I mean by ever coming back, I don't think he's ever going to be the sort of player he was. I mean, there's 2 separate injuries got where they're both like 9 to 10 month injuries, and he can't heal them both at the same time. This is just by going through what I've read. So we need someone who's established on the right as well, because I'd keep Kudos. I think all of us would do that. I thought he'd done well for us when he played for us. Hangs on to the ball a bit much. I think he's a little bit too much of looks for that perfect pass instead of that simple pass sometimes. And that simple pass can be what you need at times. But he's definitely another one I'd keep. Maddison, yes, I'd keep him, but Maddison, he's probably going to play about 5 games, bust himself again. I mean, the fella is fucking brittle. There's no 2 ways about it. Simmons ain't coming back till next season. I haven't particularly been impressed with him either. So we definitely need to get a number 10 there. We definitely need to get someone with creativity. We need to get some technicality there. We need to get some technique at this team. And oh my days, fucking hell, do we need someone on that left-hand side. Whether it's an inside forward, whether it's a winger, we need someone who can do that job on that left-hand side, because on that left-hand side, we are brittle. We are bad. I mean, what? Tell. I know some people rate him. Fair enough. Like I said, whatever turns you on it the other day. Odebert. And we're talking about that we want to go places. We want to go up in the league. You're not going to do it with players like that on there. Tell is another one. Loan him out. I mean, we basically sold Harry Kane for 40 million and Tell. 40 million and fucking Tell. All right, Tell has shown 1 or 2 split-second moments, and that's not good enough. That is not good enough for a season. You look at the others on there. It's just the whole squad really has just not performed in any means or manner. I mean, another rumour going about at the moment, and personally, I would snap this one up. Do I believe it's real? I struggle very much to believe this. But I'm reading a hell of a lot going about the Man City are very interested in Porro. Now, he was already there when he was younger. I know that, yeah. But Man City can pretty much go out and get who they want. Do I see them going for Porro? Does anyone on here honestly see Porro ending up at Man City? Sorry, not Man U, Man City. I just can't see that one happening. But the rumour is they're willing to pay 60 million for him. And Porro is another one who I'd quite happily let him go. I like his mentality in the aspect that he tries. But then we can say the same about Richarlison. One thing I can give about Richarlison is that every game he will give it 110%, even though his quality is only 5%. But he tries. Porro does the same as well. But if we're going to, depending on how we're going to play, if we're going to play with a flat back line 4, basically using right back, left back, Porro's got to go. Again, it's another one that I've said for about 2 years now. He is a shit defender. Yes, he has a moment or two where he blocks the ball. I'll give it that. But he's not a good defensive-minded player. It's not how he plays. And that don't even make him a bad player. What that makes him is a bad right back, a bad defender. But he's not a defensive-minded player. Like Basuma. Basuma is not a defensive-minded player. Not at all. But Basuma's another one that we're going to see the back of, hopefully, because his mentality... Mate, if you're going to do your stuff, don't do it on fucking camera. At least go to the fucking toilet and shut the door. He ain't even clever enough to do that. He's another one that's going to have to... He's going to be gone. I think he's one that we just get him out of there and let him go. But with Porro, he hasn't really been played the right way since we got him. We got him as a wing-back. And we've never really used him properly as a wing-back. He's an attacking-minded player. And we've used him defensively. So you're not going to see the best out of him. You're not going to see the good out of him of what he can do. But for me, I would let him go. Because De Zerbi, in my opinion, from what I've seen of him, I don't think he's going to use wing backs, not at all. I think he's going to stick with 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-3. Keep it a bit more simple, basically. But who can honestly see Porro going to Man City for 60 million? I just think that one's a bit of talk, basically, if I'm going to be honest. I mean, and what you're saying here, it's I would take 60 million from him in a heartbeat. Yep, so would I. I just don't think he's the one of the players that we need there. I think he's another one that we need to see go, basically, along with quite a few of the others. I wouldn't say he's a priority that we need to get rid of, not at all. I mean, me personally, he's a bad version of Trent. Yeah. I mean, his style of play, I would now when I say compare, take this with a pinch of salt, basically, yeah. When I say compare, he's a very, very, very poor man's Gareth Bale. The way he plays out from the back. He seems to like to play, get up the pitch as a wing back, get the ball in there, or even try and get him himself. He's an extremely poor man's Gareth Bale, the way he tries to play football, even though he's never going to be close to it. I'd say he's closer to that than a Trent, basically. And Jay, thanks for the drop, mate. Much appreciated. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed that 200 quid. That fucking burnt my pocket. But yeah, the fellow, he won the bet. He won the bet. I put the £200 bet up to him. He said 100. I said 200. And there we go. I lost my bet. I paid up. And I won't deny it. That pissed me off and that hurt. But I'm man of my word. I stick to my debts in that aspect and pay up. But thanks for the raid, mate. Much appreciated. And I saw you had quite a few people paying you a bit of money on there, hunting them down. Not surprised, mate. Fair play to you. You won your bet. But going back with Porro, like I said, I think the man's got to go. We ain't going to play him to his capabilities. I would have personally tried him up front as a winger, where we had no one there. I was quite surprised that we used him at the back and put Spence up there. I would have personally done it the other way round, put Spence at the back and Porro at the top if I was going to fuck about with things on there like De Zerbi did just on that bit. But it did seem to work a bit better. And I think that was more down to the fact that Porro actually had someone to cover his ass on the defensive side. Because Kudus ain't good at defending. And when we had Johnson there, who's just gone and won another cup for fuck's sake, he weren't exactly getting back either. So what? Is Porro's problem the fact that he never has anyone on the right to support him coming back? Or is it just the fact that he just can't fucking defend? I don't think he can defend, basically. So for me, I do agree with what people saying here, like KJ. I've been saying Porro is stylistically like Trent. Yes, I can totally understand that shit version. A very, very, very poor man's Gareth Bale sort of thing. So I'm not going to argue if someone comes in for him. Basically, I ain't gonna complain if someone goes in and puts even a 50 million bid for him, and we sell him. I mean, some of these ones that are going to have to go. I mean, how much can we get in for Richarlison? I mean, seriously, let's be realistic here. How much can we get in for Richarlison? I think it's going to be. I've seen rumours that there's a Brazilian team that wants to pay 15 mil for him. I've seen rumours of 20 mil. Do I see a team out from Brazil paying 20 mil for him? No, I don't. Do I see a team out from anywhere paying that sort of money for him? No, I don't. Personally, with Richarlison, I think if we got 10 million for him, I think we should be over the moon. I think we should be happy with that. If someone comes in for Richie and puts in a 10 million bit, baked potato, mate, see you later. I'll get my wife in the car, even though she's 5 months down the line, and say, drive him up the fucking station. Drive him to the whatever. Get him out. He's got to go. If we get a 10 million offer for him, just take it. I think there's going to be several players that we are just going to have to take our losses on. Some people ain't going to like that, but some people just ain't going to like that. But we need to get players out. We need to get money in there to spend as well. And the more we get rid of, the more money we've got to spend. And we don't need, like I said at the start, we don't need a 25-man squad necessarily. We could cut that down a bit as long as we haven't got the injuries. I mean, Bill, what you're saying there, I just caught that out of the corner of my eye. I mean, if Porro is so good going forward, then why did De Zerbi play Spence on the right wing on Sunday over him? Fair question. I don't know. I would have personally... Porro can cross the ball better than Spence. I think everyone can see that. But what he did seem to work. And I do think it was because Spence had him in the cover. I don't rate Spence too highly either, but he's one who I would keep there as a squad player. I think he's got a bit of an attitude on him, but definitely not the worst player we've got. And he can cover a left back and a right back. And if needs be, like we've seen, you could push him up front. But like I said, Richarlison, he's got to go. Solanke, will we get rid of someone like him? I'm just going through a couple of players off the top of my head who I want out of there. I mean, Solanke is another one that I would definitely like to go, but I don't think he's going to go anywhere. So let's get in an established striker and use Solanke as the step up if we need him. Like I say, step up, step down if we need him more than anything. And as a squad player, I could keep him there for a season as long as we get a good striker. That I could keep him there for the seasons. Whereas Richarlison, mate, thanks for the effort and that, but just fuck off, please. You're painful to watch. Odegaard, I'd let him go. Someone offers 10 mil for him. Again, another one, young one, fuck him off. Let him go. Basuma, gonna have to go. Like I said earlier, Archie Gray on loan, let him go. Adogi, someone puts in a 10 million bid for him. Another one for me. Let him go. I think there's a lot of players on there that we can actually let go. And Daz, you're right. Our Spurs going to be like this. Are we going to start wanting more money for players that just people are not going to offer that sort of fucking money for? Are we going to be that stupid to basically do what Daniel Levy used to do, one of his biggest fuck-ups, and that is want more for a player than you can actually get? Now, if you can get that sort of money for the player, someone comes in and offers, say, 15 million. You turn around and you say you want 20. That I can totally understand it. And try your luck. You're not a businessman if you don't try your luck. Like they say, who dares wins, whatever way you want to put it. So you offer me 15 for something, I say I want 22. You then say 17, take it. But if you put it on there like, I want 15 mil, and it's just clear as day that he ain't going for any more than 9 or 10 million. It's like I said earlier, sometimes you've got to be more the man to accept your loss. Sometimes you've got to be more the man to accept it is what it is, basically, and just take your losses, get him off our end, get him off the payroll, and get someone in there who can do the fucking job, basically. I mean, and then you look at other players in midfield. Bentancur, personally, a player I would keep. Squad player. Now, this was one thing that was frustrating about last season. I know I'm going back and forth here, but I'm just speaking off the top of my head on a lot of this. I think Bentancur is a good player. Nothing more, nothing less. If he wouldn't have had his major injuries, I think he would have been a better player than what he is. But I do still think he is a good player in that aspect. I do think he's a good player. And people were saying that him and Paulinho, after we'd won a couple of games and weren't doing too bad under Frank, by the way, him and Paulinho should not play together. It's not the fucking Spurs way of playing. Well, the Spurs way of playing over 40 years, 50 years has not been consistent anyway. And the only established Spurs way of playing over the past, couple of years has been Spursy, like it or not. I know a few people don't like the word, but it is what it is as far as I'm concerned. And that is about the only established way we've got of playing at the moment. And that is Spursy. So we need to get an established way to play. So there are some players we just need out of there. But Bentancur, I think we can keep him as a squad player. When he started playing alongside Paulinho again, all of a sudden we looked like we had a little bit of control in midfield. Now, I get he wasn't fully fit. Not at all was he fully fit. What's that? Sell him to Saudi. Yeah. They'd probably just give us an extra 10 million just to take the piss, basically. You go, have another 10 million, you pricks. Just for the fun of it. Let's hope they would. They've got the fucking money. But he's one who I would keep for the squad. And when him and Paulinho played together, and neither of them I think were 100% fit, that midfield looked a bit calmer. It looked a little bit more relaxed. The defence looked a little bit more solid. Not well, solid might be a bit of a bit too much of a nice way to put it, but it looks a little stable, I think is the better word to put for it. We just looked like we had that little bit more control in the middle. And Gallagher doing the 10 role when he had to. I don't think he done a poor job. I mean, Gallagher is another one. Some people are already saying get rid of him. Why? He's an established player. He can do good on the pitch, but I do agree with what other people have said. I think Maz was one of the first ones to pick it up on there, who said Gallagher is one of those players that will perform on the players he has around him. He's not that player that shows up himself and stands out himself. He does need the other players around him. Now, I know you can turn around and say that everyone needs the players around them, but there's going to be certain players that can just, even if the team's playing shit, they're that good that they will still stand out a bit. Gallagher, I don't necessarily think he's one of them. He works on what's around him. I agree with what Maz has said there. But definitely another one, a good squad player. But he's not the one that's going to give us the technique. He's not the one that's going to give us that bit of skill that we need, that Maddison that we need. We need those couple of players that can do that. I mean, 420 coins, what you're saying here is Vicario. Baked potato, mate. See you later. He's got to go. When it comes to shot stopping, yeah, split-second decision, I honestly think that Vicario is one of the best in Europe, not just the Premier League. When it comes to a split-second save, he's got it. I think he's really good at that. And really good. Just at that. Nothing more, yeah? When it comes to controlling his goal, when it comes to coming out for corners, when it comes to free kicks, when it comes that he's got to think more than 2-second mentality, when he's got to do anything else, when he gets pushed about like a little bitch on the pitch, basically, he's got to go. His first season for us wasn't necessarily bad. It was a pretty good season until the others sussed him out, just push him about a little bitch, and he's one who would just take it roughly and walk off like John Wayne. And that is exactly what he turned out to be. He's another one for me that's got to go. Do we get 20 million for him? I'm not complaining if we do, but he's got to go. Another one you're saying here, Romero, I agreed with that. Dragusin, yeah, another one. He can go. I don't think he got his fair chance at Spurs, honestly. Injury did him no favours either, but he didn't really come out how I thought he would. I thought he would come out a bit better than that. I think taking back to Italy, put him in the middle as a solid three at the back, I think he'll get his shit together a bit more. I think the Italian league definitely suits him better. I think he's another one we could push 15, 20 mil for him, maybe. Other one you've put there, Sarr. Yes, get him out. And he's one that a lot of people I find still defend. Again, it's opinionated. We can go by facts, stats, everything else, but I do know stats do actually lie. Stats can say that you've had a game of 100 passes and they've all been solid and everything. Yeah, when the passes were fucking 6 yards next year. So stats do lie. Sarr is another one for me who's got to go. I think he's in the wrong sport, personally. I think he should be a marathon runner. Great engine, but that's about it. I mean, you can have a brilliant engine in your car, but if your gearbox falls apart and your fucking tires keep falling off, it's a pretty useless car, isn't it? Even though it's got a good engine. And for me, he's another one. I just don't think he's got it. I don't even think he's a Premier League standard player, if I'm going to be honest. I really don't. Would a different league suit him better? Quite possibly. Go and stick him in Serie A where it's a bit slower. He'll stand out more. But again, I honestly just don't rate him as a player. His passing isn't up to standards. He has the odd shot here and there. He can't control a game. Basically, as all he can do is run, and he's got stamina. That's where I think he's in the wrong sport. I mean, the list can go on and on of players that we do need to definitely see the back of. I mean, right, been near hour 15. What I'm going to do, if anyone wants to, I'm going to give it 5 minutes. And then if not, I'm going to end this because I think I've gone on with enough of them. A few other bits I'll bring up. I'm going to put the stream on now. There you go. If anyone wants to come on and talk about a player that they think we need to keep or get rid of, I will just find it interesting actually hearing from someone face to face who they want to keep or who they want to get rid of, basically, or who should be looking at going for. And another one that has come up as well is another. I'll be with you in a sec, Mia. Nice to see you. Another one who has come up as well, Vuskovic. I forgot to mention him. It looks like he's actually leaving Hamburg. Not that he particularly wants to, but he's doing what he's told and coming back to Spurs. And then there's other rumours saying that Chelsea are looking at him. He ain't going to Chelsea. We ain't going to fucking sell to Chelsea. But then there's other rumours that Inter Milan are looking at him. Inter Milan ain't going to pay the money that he needs. But then Barcelona and Bayern Munich are looking at him as well. And I could understand Bayern Munich going for him. I think he had a brilliant season at Hamburg. Excellent. Would I want him back as my first choice defender? Not necessarily. I want him to come back and earn his place there in the Premier League. But Vuskovic is another one we're meant to be having coming back. So if you look at that defence line I've said, that's Vuskovic, Robertson, Sense, and then we're meant to be looking at that Van Heck and also Stones. It looks like we're definitely going on the defensive side there. Mia,
and we've got Ashley Phillips as well.
I would have thought, do you know what? I totally forgot about that. I would have thought he's one that we sort of let go.
See, I don't know if we will. I think actually, good afternoon. Hope everyone's well, enjoying the sunshine.
No,
in the UK.
Sweating like a bitch. But
it's not even that hot.
No, it's muggy. Very.
It is. I can guess it is in London. Where I'm at, there's a bit of a sea breeze in it, so I'm quite lucky because we don't get as muggy here.
Mm-hmm.
So
go on.
What I was going to say,
I've been through in that, so not particularly in a rush.
I think actually that we're more likely to actually keep Phillips because he's been out on loan a bit longer, and let Vuskovic go back out on loan because he's still relatively young. So to rely on somebody as young, I don't know. I just don't know if that would be something that we could or would do. So I think
it's not what I want to do. I don't want to rely on young players anymore. Don't get me wrong.
That's it. I think
that's what I think has been a problem. Sorry, Mia, go on.
Yeah, I think when you look at Phillips, he's a little bit older now. I think can't remember how old he is, in his early 20s, I think he is.
I think he's about 22, 23.
Yeah, 22, 23, if I remember rightly. So I think we're more likely to sell Romero and Dragusin and have Phillips, and obviously we're going to have Sensi. Is it? What's his name?
Sensei, whatever he calls himself.
Senesi, that's the one. Senesi as well.
Senesi. You're as bad as me at pronouncing the names.
Yeah, I just forgot it went out of my head, Senesi. And then he's left-footed. So on the right, you'd have Danso and Phillips, and then Senesi and Van der Ven for the left, isn't it? So I think that's probably, where we will go with it. I can't see us keeping Vuskovic. I think he will go back up because all loans come back. It don't matter. That's what they're contracted to do, is to come back after the season's ended.
Obviously.
And then we send them back out. So it doesn't mean because he said that he won't go back. Like, I think that's something that people got to consider, because a lot of people say about Mikey Moore as well. Send him back
Stick him back up Rangers. That's what I said earlier, Mia. Put him back up Rangers.
I think that people I don't know, like with the youngsters, it's a funny one with youngsters, what people want us to do with the youngsters. And people say loans don't work. But for me, playing time is important. Yeah, I just think playing time's important, because getting 10 minutes here and 10 minutes there, if you're a team like a Man City, it's okay, but we're not that team. So I just don't think it's like something we can do, because there's so much pressure on us to win games because we've been so bad. I think doing that, I don't think is probably going to happen, and it hasn't really happened recently anyway. If you look at what's been with past managers, they rarely do that.
Yeah, I agree. Personally, I think instead of just sitting there with a notebook, basically, I think experience does you better.
Yeah, no, I
think
agree.
playing the games will do you more favours. I know others have got different opinions on it. On that one, he's very opinionated, yeah. But if you've got the right person to sit next to and train you, basically, and to look up to, and you've got good coaches and that, then obviously staying at the club will do you favours. But I personally think going on loan is a much better idea. Mikey Moore is definitely one I'd put on loan. But Vuskovic is one I could see coming back. I mean, Phillips, that's about 3 years he's been on loan now. Is it 3 years?
Been a couple of years, yeah. So I said I think he's been out on loan enough.
And still hasn't seen Premier League football, really.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he's actually turned in, from what I hear, into a fairly decent defender. So what I'm trying to say is his experience is more than what a Vuskovic. So you'd less likely risk a Vuskovic, more a Phillips who's got a bit of experience playing football, at least in an English league, like where Vuskovic hasn't had that yet. Because people undervalue the amount of how good it is for us also to see how good they are, because when they play back against boys of their own age, you can't really tell how good they're going to be until they play a game, obviously games against men. And I think that's something that's undervalued. And like I say, with Vuskovic, he's done extremely well, but he hasn't had any English football yet. So I don't know if we might loan him back out, maybe over here to a newly promoted team or a lower league team, perhaps. I don't know, to get him some more experience somewhere else. But he did say he wanted to go on and play where his brother's playing.
That's right.
So we'll have to wait and see on that one. But I do think people overestimate some of our youngsters. We've got so many.
We always do. I mean, I don't want to rely on youngsters. I don't mind having a couple of them in the squad, but I don't want to rely on youngsters. And that's one of the problems I have with Vuskovic as such. I don't necessarily want to have to rely on him as a first choice centre-back. I would rather be relying on someone established there. And if he ends up being better and getting his place and taking the place, then fair play, he's earned it as far as I'm concerned. But I don't want to rely on kids anymore.
Yeah, and I think, like I say, that people think about what they think about youngsters is that they're all going to come in and they're all going to be this player that we see at other clubs. But actually, Joe, how the small percentage of actual overall Premier League players come through at their clubs and remain at their clubs, it's actually a really small percentage. It's not many at all for those who've got like academies. So it's actually quite a rare thing for them to come through at their parent club and to remain. A lot of the players, they go off at other clubs and they go around a little bit, and then they might come back and after gaining experience and then become maybe better. They're so good that Premier League team want them, like a Premier League team would want them. So
I get where you're coming from. It's like I said, I just don't want to fucking rely on kids again. And is it even fair putting all that sort of pressure on the kids? I mean, for me, if a player's got a contract to 70, 80 grand and he costs 30, 40 million, I'll judge him the same way as any other player. If they say you are good enough for that squad, then whether you're 19, 18 or 32, 35, you have to perform. You have to show that you are good enough, basically. You've got that contract. So walk the walk, basically.
I don't know. With the pricing of players, they don't decide their price. So it's down to the club. So to judge them on what the club price them at, I don't think's right. I feel like that you need to think about obviously other things, like some players develop quicker than others. When they're younger, they're going to be making mistakes. And someone like, I know everyone's going to, this is where we're going to lead to it, but someone like Archie Gray, I feel like he was probably not supposed to be relied on as much, and also in every position, barring his own pretty much, that he wants to play in. And I feel like people judge that when actually he probably shouldn't have been put in that position. But just because we paid X amount for him, at the end of the day, he didn't choose that.
No, but he's still got a contract and he's still in the...
Of course.
Spurs squad. So you've got, look, the only thing that I'll cut the younger players is at times you can see mistakes. Like last season, you saw it quite a few times where you could see the mistake they made was because of lack of experience.
Yeah.
That one I can cut some slack on. But when you can just blatantly see that they are not good enough for that first team, they're the ones who got the contract. They're the ones who are in the Premier League. They're the ones who are in the starting 11 or the 25. So you still got to judge them. And if they're not good enough, they got to go. And this is where we got to be more ruthless again at Spurs. Stop being so fucking sentimental with a lot of things, in my opinion. And we have got to get a lot of these players out, a lot of these players on loan, and we have to bring some players in as well. But there's only so much you can do in one window, isn't there?
That's the thing, because realistically, Dan, I think that 5 players coming in would be realistic. 4 or 5 players, and that's not going to please everybody. But that's why I think we've got to look at the scouts, and obviously the club have to look at the most important positions, and that's our attacking positions at the moment. That obviously where we lack the most. And I do think that some of these players that people are saying they want to get rid of won't be gone, like a Porro. I can't see Porro being gone because that means then we have to replace him. And I don't think that's going to happen.
And I don't think Man City are going to come in and offer 50, 60 million for him personally.
I don't know, probably not. But my point is, it doesn't matter who he goes to. The point is, I don't think that he's going to go. So, like we're saying this player, that player. I just think that there's certain positions that are more probably likely for us to go for, and I think other positions are going to be in the future. Although we do need to stop, our squad is bloated, so there are players that can go out, and that's fine because there's plenty of players. I looked, and I think I said about 10 could easily go out, but I think that the light, and if we replace them with 5, then obviously that makes our squad a little bit less bloated, because at the minute it is quite, when you look how many players we've got, like we've got loan players, like we've still got what's his name, God, the one that always was injured, the one that we bought.
That's most of them, innit?
Solomon. Solomon's still on our books. So, like,
I thought Solomon, we got rid of him. I thought we'd actually got rid of Solomon.
No, I think it's a loan. A loan in it. I'm sure it's a loan.
I thought he was actually gone.
I'm not sure, but anyway, what I'm trying to say,
I'm sure someone will tell us.
If you look at our loan with our loan players, we've got a huge squad, and there's loads of that dead wood that can get gone. Like, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't think
it would quite easily be.
But getting them in, like, I don't think it's going to be. I don't think as many are going to go as many people would like.
I mean, I knew he was at Fiorentina. I thought we'd actually sold him. My bad. Still, how you doing, mate?
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad.
You're in networking a bit better?
Doing a bit of work. Sorry, say that again?
You're in networking a bit better?
Not really, no. I'm running off my phone off of 5G until they come and actually sort out the internet for my house, which is probably... But Geezer, I live in Cyprus. Everything gets done 6 months after you ask for it to get done. It's insane. They're so slow here.
6 months, a year. Man, does it matter? Like, we're all just, you know what I mean? It's just chewing it. No one's in a hurry still.
Exactly that.
It's like Tottenham.
Yeah.
I mean, look, go on there. Seeing as used to on here, I can ask a couple of questions then. I mean, Robertson, it's a very split down the middle from what I've seen off of people. I mean, what do you use to reckon on that? I personally have got no problem with it. Definitely as a squad player, and as long as we get rid of Ben Davies and that, and if we play a flat back 4, I think he'll do us fine on the left, but he's not going to do us 38 games. And he's on a free. What's the problem?
I've got a video coming out today on this. I don't want him. I don't want him. No. I'll tell you why I don't want him. If you look at his seasons between 2018 to 2022, 23, he was really good. He's never been much of a goal scorer, but his assists are really high. Probably one of the best left wing backs in the world, or at least in Europe at the time. The last 3 years, he's fallen off a cliff. His assists are so low. He's making more errors than he used to make before. He's lost pace. 1v1 battles. He hasn't got the pace that he used to. He's nowhere near the player that he was before. So why are we bringing him in? It's like Timo Werner. We brought him in after he had his good days. We're going to do the same now with Robertson. And it doesn't make any sense because he's going to take a place from another player that could potentially develop into that role over a 5-year project, or another player that we could sign that's... Do you know, Dan, do you know what it is? I'll tell you what it comes down to for me. If we're going to actually have a proper project and take it serious and not get rid of the manager in 2 years' time and actually sign proper players, then I want the majority of the players to be between the age of 22, 23 to 27, 28. Experienced, quality. Right? Then a few players that are age 29, 30, 28, that are experienced, they're leaders, they're characters, but they've still got good years ahead of them. Great example, Paulinho, right?
I want to keep him big time.
Right. And then I want a few players that are young, really exciting, that we're going to develop, give them a chance, but we're not depending on them. That's how I want the project done. That's how United did it. That's how Liverpool did it. And that's how Arsenal have done it. I don't want to sign these 32, 33-year-olds that are washed out, that are on the way down, that haven't got what it takes anymore. People talk about Perisic. Perisic was a disaster defending, an absolute tragedy defending, because
he was never a good defender. He was a wing back and a left winger and a right winger.
Right. But going forward, he was really good for us. Robertson is going to need to defend. He's lost that part of his game. And his assist.
I don't think he's a bad defender.
Dan, go. The last 3 years, his assists have fallen off a cliff. His number of errors he makes in the game, that's now increased quite significantly. And he doesn't have that pace against elite wingers or fast-paced wingers. So for me, I get why people look at him, but I'd rather get a player that is a few years younger, that's still got it, that is going to maybe in 2 years' time not have it. Which is what Paulinho is. Which is what Paulinho is. Otherwise, I can't take this build seriously. It's just that guy just there in the comments. He's right. It's another Ben Davies. No pace, gets skinned.
He's not another Ben Davies. He's not that bad. Come on, man. He's not that bad.
He's been poor for the last 2 years. He's been poor.
He's better than Ben Davies, and as a squad player, I'm quite.
In his prime, he was. In his prime, he was one of the best left wing backs.
Oh, in his prime, he was the bollocks. No two ways about it. I know that, and I know he's past his best.
So why do we want to build a project? Why do we want to build a project that everyone's now saying this is it? We're going to fix it. You know, Vinay's got his statement. Lewis family have got their statement. Charrington, all these statements, and then you've got fans saying, "Yeah, this is it. Things have to change." Right? Okay. If that's all true, the first signing you make is a 32, 33-year-old player that's on his way down. It doesn't make sense to me.
I get where you're coming from, but on a free and as a squad player, I don't think he's bad at all. And one thing we do need in there is a bit of an established player, a bit of experience, a bit of leadership. And I'm not saying we get 38 games out of him, not at all.
We don't.
And what I think we got to look at is some stability and getting ourselves into 10th place, let alone looking at 4th or 3rd or going for something. And don't you think he adds to a squad for that over? I mean, Adogie's always injured and he just doesn't do it for us. Spence turns up when he wants to, basically. And Ben Davies, let's not even go there, basically. We haven't exactly got that much option there. Don't you think he's just a good squad option, at least?
We don't want experience and leadership. We want experienced quality. Experienced quality is what we need. This is where we always go wrong. This is what we did with Mourinho. We need experience and leaders. We signed Joe Hart because he's a winner. He's experienced. It didn't work. We did this before. We need experienced quality, and we will develop the leaders. What leader did Arsenal sign? They've just won the league. What leader did they sign? They developed them. because the mentality produced them. For me, the experience that we need has to come from players like Paulinho, who is still playing at a top level. Paulinho is just as good at Tottenham as what he was at Fulham when he was there 3-4 years ago. So I get why fans like the idea of Robertson. I just think he's at that age now where, can he perform on the pitch for a club like Tottenham Hotspur on a regular basis and be part of a team that really wants to go somewhere? If that was the case, Liverpool wouldn't let him go. If that was the case, Liverpool would not look to let him go.
Do you know what my point would be still is that he's not going, I don't think he's going to be somebody who's going to be relied on.
Come on,
week,
send me link.
week
I was
in,
just saying to Mark, send me link if you want to come on.
That's right. Week in, week out. And so I think that, say, for instance, at the end of the game, when you want to get a job done and maybe you're just being a bit more defensive, where you're maybe not going forward as much, could he do a job? Like, this is like, I feel like that in certain situations, he's not going to be relied on as somebody who's going to get a start every week, but somebody who can come on and do a job. I think that he can. With that experience, I think that he could actually do that personally.
I watch Liverpool's defence collapse every single week. He couldn't do it there. And we think he's going to come to Tottenham. Do you know, the only reason we're going for him, guys, the only reason we're even looking at him is because he's free. We're not looking at him because he's quality or because we think he can really do a job for us. What we're looking at is, we don't have to pay any money for this guy. And do you know what? Maybe he might do a job. And this stinks of all the problems we went through before with previous transfers, like Timo Werner. We didn't have to pay for him. It was a loan deal. Yeah, let's do that. I just don't see the seriousness in any change if this is the road we go down. Mia, I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree with you, Dan, either. I don't disagree with either of you or anyone in the chat. My point is, if we're going to have a real 5-year project, then let's clear it out.
It's got to start somewhere.
But start with players that are going to be here in 4 or 5 years' time, Dan, so you can properly build it and develop them. Because, look, every team that is successful in 5 years' time that starts a project, they fail, but that's the learning curve. That's the mentality building. That's the growing a pair of cojones. That's improving the desire to not fail again. And if you keep at it, eventually you will get there. Don't start with players that aren't going to be here in 5 years, because they'll only end up being part of a slower progression.
I get where you're coming from here, yeah, I really do. But for me, I'm more bothered about just getting a bit of stability and finishing 10th next season. Now, don't get me wrong. If we can go out and do a Man U and spend 250 million, get a solid keeper as well, and go and spend 300,000 on wages and that, I'm all for it. But still, this is only Tottenham Hotspur now. We are only Tottenham. We have played Spursy consistently for, what, you can easily say 4 years, 5 years now. We've played it pretty much most of our lives to an extent. But I think we just need to take a step down a little bit. Now, I get what I mean by you want a project to go further, if that's what you want to call the fucking thing. And you want it to go somewhere, but you've got to start somewhere as well. And I don't think he's bad for a squad player as such. But when we just need that little bit of extra stability on there, you got to start somewhere. And I think we've got to take a step down. He's not stable, though, Dan. He's not stable. He's been poor for 2 years. This isn't a stable player. He's been shit. He's not been good. And by the way, people in the chat who want to say Stel just loves a moan, for those of you coming at me, this is loser behavior. Because I put a video out yesterday saying why I am so on board with Savio. Right? I did a 17-minute video explaining exactly why I think we should sign Savinho. So it's not me having a moan. I'm having an honest opinion on Robertson. If Dan asked me about Savio, if you ask me about Savinho, I'll be completely different. I'll be saying, I'll tell you why. Yeah, but I'm just saying, for people in the chat that just say I'm only doing it to moan. No, I'm being honest about this particular player. I think we are going to sign him. I think he is going to be at Tottenham. It's pretty much done from what I'm reading.
Yeah. I think he's going to be at Tottenham. I think he's going to have 3 or 4 games. Everyone's going to say, you see, that's why, good signing, well done. And then as the season goes on and he becomes a very bang average player, everyone's going to be saying, like they did with Timo Werner, when everyone got excited when Timo came and my manager, and blah, blah, blah. 6 months later, they did. Mate, they did it with Moani as well. We signed Moani, everyone got gassed. Oh, top player, £90 million PSG talent, 16 goals at Juve. He's been absolutely dog. I honestly
I think we all expected better off Moani, though, didn't we? I think everyone expected a bit better off Moani.
Well, from the sounds of it, you're expecting good things from Robertson.
I'm not expecting nothing brilliant off of him, but I think he can give us that bit of stability when we need it. And I'm not saying he's going to play 38 games for us, but he's got some experience that we just ain't fucking got there. I do agree that we're only looking at him because he's free. I'll accept that one all day long, yeah?
But Dan, let me
as
ask
an
you a
overall
question.
squad player, I think we could put worse there.
Dan,
go on.
Is he a good player right now? Right now, would you say this is a good player?
Right now, depending what club I am, for Spurs at the moment, compared to the dog shit we have got, I would say he's more than a respectable player to have in that squad.
I'm not saying compared to our players, because for me, 60% of this squad has to go over the next 2-3 years. We're not going to do it in one window. I agree with Mia when she said that earlier. She mentioned that earlier. I agree. But for me, any signing that comes to Tottenham now, if we are really going to change the direction of this club and get real, then any player that comes to this club, we have got to say, either you are a really good player or we can see the potential, and it's not Pape Sarr potential. It's not Odegaard potential. It's we can see real talent there. Can we develop it? If the players we sign aren't like that, how are we ever going to compete with United and Arsenal and City and Liverpool and Villa who do that? That's how they buy players. If we're just going to buy players because, he can do a job, it's not. We're never going to go forward, Dan. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying I don't see how we go forward like that.
I mean, Mia, how do you see this? I mean, the way I see this basically is that do I think he's better than what we've got? Yes, but I can turn around and say that's not fucking hard. I think you could stick one of us three on the pitch and we could probably do a better job than 70% of those players. But I think as a squad player, he's more than good enough to have as a squad player for a season or two, just to try and give us that little bit of stability or something to turn to, or just that little bit of rotation, basically, where we're only playing one game a week to get us into at least 10th place next season, which is already steps forward.
Yeah, I think that in like the world that we want to be in is we do want to be competing up there. But in the reality, considering what's been going on at Tottenham, I just don't think we're at that level yet. I think that it will take steps to get there. Even when you look at somebody like them lot down the road, I don't like to say it, but then they were eighth, and then they got rid of players. They fed players out that they didn't want. They didn't do it all overnight, Like I don't think it's an overnight thing where we can just get great exceptional quality to push us. I feel like that we have to sort of get there first, and players might not want to come to Tottenham as well. We've got to consider that. So I think that in the grand scheme of things, he's actually, like I said, a good player to do a job when we need it, and experienced, and also like that calmer, older head within the group as well, for players to look up to, like the youngsters to look up to. And I know that that's all like maybe la-di-da, but the fact is that does happen, and we do say that we need people in that dressing room that have got that calmer head, that experience, where we haven't had that as much. And I do think that, like I said, in games, do I think he can come on and still do a job? Yeah. I was just looking at his stats in comparison to other players, and this season, like the seasons he's had recently, he's not been comparatively, objectively bad. Like, he's still actually a decent player. And like I said, I still think he can come in and do a job.
Yeah, this is where I think we actually need to step off our high horse with a couple of players and not accept total bullshit, but accept we are not going to go out there and get quality players or even very good players unless we go and put our foot down with money and paying wages, because it's all we've got to offer. We have nothing else to bring into that. And we have to rebuild on the squad as a whole. And I think if you can just get a free player in like that and get Ben Davies out and just give a little bit of extra on the rotation, I don't think it's the worst idea. I really don't. I mean, question here then. I mean, Lynn's asking you the question here still. What players do you think that we can bring in then? Because this is the other issue. If we ain't going to pay the wages, who are we actually going to bring into the club?
Right. I don't buy this. We can't attract players because last season we finished 17th, sacked the manager, and we signed Mohamed Kudus, top player, Paulinho, who was our player of the season, in my opinion. We can attract the players. It comes down to one thing. And
we
one
had
thing
Champions
only.
League.
Fine, we had Champions League, but Man United didn't have Champions League or Europe, and they signed Cunha and Mbeumo. So you can do it if you want. Well, I was coming to that. The only way you do it is by having a proper recruitment team that goes in quick to get the talent and puts the money down. We took all summer on Eze, only for Arsenal to pull our pants down last minute. We could have got that done 2 months prior. The Morgan Gibbs-White deal, we got embarrassed. We should have inquired about that back in May, right? The way we operate is why we can't bring in the players that we want. I'm not saying we can land every top player because we can't. If we go toe-to-toe with Liverpool, they're going to go to Liverpool. We saw that with Luis Diaz.
Oh, of course. That just goes without saying.
Yeah, there's certain clubs we're never going to compete with. But if we go early, we can get business done. We can gazump the rest of the market. But what happens is we spend all summer window. Should we get him? Should we get this one? What about the contract? What about the wages? What about if you want a player, it's simple. Put the money down. The tragedy with Tottenham, Dan, is we put our money where our mouth is with rubbish. We have no problem finding £65 million for the pigeon. We have no problem going in quick. Bournemouth, there's 60 million. We want the striker that's had one good season in all his life. This is the problem. I believe we can sign some really good players to this club. I think De Zerbi is a pull. I think we've got players in this team that can speak to those players like the Madisons of the world that can have a chat. I think we can sign good players, but the recruitment team has got to be on it. And with Lange, we're fucked. If Lange is still here, we're absolutely fucked with this. Why is he still here? Why is he still here?
That one, I don't honestly know in that aspect. I mean, if it's one or the other that's got to go, it's Lange that's got to fuck off, hands down, isn't it? I mean, like the question there. I mean, Mia, I'll ask you first. I mean, I think you already said it, but what do you think on Sensu? I can't pronounce his fucking name, but people know what I mean. I mean, another one on a freebie, 29, established, good player. I'd rather have him playing than Romero personally. I think he's more consistent. So, like the question says underneath it, what category does he fall into then? Or is that just another freebie we're going for?
I think that Senesi is a good player, and I think that he's a left footer as well. We haven't had two left footers, have we? So that's actually quite good for me, for us to have another left footer. I think that he falls in the category of somebody that's a really astute buyer, I suppose, with what people might not like it. But with all we have to do, I think that those sort of players are ones that we have to snap up, even if it is somebody that comes on a free. I mean, it doesn't make them bad. So to me, I don't think that's a bad signing at all for Senesi. I think actually that's a really good signing for us to get.
I would. From what I've seen him play, I've only seen him play about 10 games. I actually think he's quite a good player.
He's not a fast player. He's like a very reliable player. I would say he's probably quite like a reliable kind of, a bit like what you'd say a Danso is, I would say.
Yeah, but a bit more gifted on the ball.
Yeah, a bit more gifted on the ball, but like he's more like that, where he's not fast particularly. So you could always pair him on the left with someone else who's maybe got a little bit more about them. So yeah, I don't think he's a bad player at all to get.
I mean, what do you think on him still?
So which player is that, Dan?
Senesi, however you say his name.
Top player. Top player all day long. All day, yeah, top player. That's exactly the kind of player that I think we should be signing. That makes sense to me. That's the kind of player that I could say, right, he's not He's not elite, but he's good, and he's better than what we've got. That's a player that I would like to see in a Spurs shirt. Good football player, really good football.
Basically, at his peak, not past it yet, because Robertson is past his peak. I do not deny that one. But you're saying someone who's still on their prime necessarily.
Listen, Dan, if you've got elite, if you're an older player, I don't know, 28, 29, 30, but you've still got a good 2-3 years in you. Like, look at Harry Kane. How old is he now? Still doing it. Yeah. I'm all for that. Like, if Spurs tomorrow said, right, we're going to sign Harry Kane, who would say no? He's a bit older now. No one would say no. Why? Because he's still doing it. You can tell he's got another good 3-4 years ahead of him. So, yeah. Whereas
purely because he's never relied on pace. I mean, don't get me wrong. He's best striker on the planet at the moment. No two ways about it. But he's in that aspect where he's always had to use his head and not pace. He's going to last longer than a lot of other players, unless he gets injured. And he's not even bad on injuries either.
No, the winning mentality comes from the manager, Frank, not Rob, not Thomas Frank, who you backed and told us he's a top coach. Remember that? Not Thomas Frank, who came into the club and said, "Oh, we're going to lose 10 games, draw 15." That's the loser mentality right there, right? So the winning mentality comes from the manager. If you can sign some players that are winners, that have won trophies, and they've still got it, then of course. Like, I would love us to sign Harry Kane back. I would love us to bring in...
Who wouldn't?
I would love us to sign a player that's won a few trophies at another club, who's now 27. I'm all for that. But the winning mentality, the mentality starts from the manager. The manager installs that. And it's the way he speaks. Look at Zerbi when he came in. We're going to win 5 in a row. He didn't believe that.
No.
But he knew, if I'm going to win 3, I've got to tell you we're going to win 5. Right? That's the winning mentality. It starts from the manager. And if you can get winners as well, players, even better. Brilliant. That just takes you over the top.
I mean, so you basically think that, going back on the Robertson one, that he is just basically, we're just getting him because he's free and that's that sort of thing. I mean, Mike, how you doing?
Big up, fellas. Hey, go on, Steph. Finish.
Big up,
sorry. Sorry. Go on, Steph. Finish up what you're saying, mate.
I'm just saying. I want Tottenham to properly build a team now, right? I want them to be different. And for me, and I'm saying this to Sava and to Sean and to Luba and everyone else, I need to see that the patterns have changed. And the patterns start with the transfer window. If we start signing players on a free that were once good, or if we start signing a bunch of 19-year-olds who haven't proven they're good, and this is how we start, I know where this ends up. I totally get why fans are on board with Robertson. I totally get why they think it will be good. And I totally think he'll have a few games that are good for us. But if we're going to build and properly build and be something great, we've got to build with players that are going to be here for the project. That's my take on it. That's what I think. You think a bit different, Dan. You think, no. Let's just be stable for a couple of years. Then we can push on from that. I think that's just start the build now. Because if we're going to finish 10th, 12th, 14th next season, who gives a shit? So we might as well finish 10th, 12th, 14th with players that are going to be here in 3 years' time. We might as well. That's just my take.
I can see where you're coming from. I can get where you're coming from. Mike, how you doing, mate?
Big up, fellas. I'm fine. My stack due tomorrow, so I'm preparing.
You better get some fucking sleep tonight, then, mate.
Thanks for the invite.
Sorry, Steph, the average age is 30, not 50.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Me fucking yow! Wow! Fucking get those claws out, man.
No, do you know what? He's right. I know Gen Z go to Nando's and McDonald's for a stag. That's not for me. That's not for me.
Yeah.
Have a Big Mac and a stripper on me.
Yeah, you ain't gonna have it the way fucking mates of mine had it. I had to get fucking stripped naked and tied to a fucking lamppost.
It's like I have no fucking clue what they prepared for me. Like all 14 of them are like, you are going to get fucked up, and I'm like, but why? Please give me something. Just yesterday I learned where am I actually going. Like and it was more by accident, right? They just told me 11 a.m. tomorrow, just be prepared. That's it, right? So listen, I don't know what they got for me, but
Well, I'll give you my condolences now then, because by the sound of it, you're going to get pretty fucked up,
probably.
whether you wish to or not. Let's just hope you don't walk like John Wayne afterwards, because those lampposts can be cold. Especially
Yeah, I listen. I've told my mate, right? It's like 20 few days till my wedding, right? Like I just want to be able to dance and my face to be okay, right? That's it. Other things like everything is open, right?
Well, if they tell,
I'd
they
like
tell
to
you,
see another version of The Hangover. It might be a bit of one of those. You know what I mean?
well,
we'll see.
just don't do what one prick I know done, and don't lick the fucking lamppost where it's fucking cold. That don't do you no favors either.
No worries.
Anyway,
they told us from
when
the young age not to do that. So
who licks lampposts to start with? The germs. Ugh.
yes, I know, but when blokes are that pissed up and it's a fucking stag do, let's just say certain things have certain effects on people's mentality at that time.
Yeah, this is why I worry about my kids, man. 2 boys. I've got no chance of them doing anything sensible.
Well, either way, I hope it all goes well for you tomorrow, Mike. I really do. And I hope they fuck you up good and proper. We want to see a picture on here the next day afterwards and that, so we can put it on here and show people how busted you got. So what do you think on this with Robertson then? Because we got a bit of a split side here on the fan base and that. Mia's got her say to it. I've got mine. Stell's got his. How do you see it with Robertson on a freebie?
I don't mind it because it's on a freebie. I would put it that way, right? I think we kind of spoke about it on Maz's show, I think, or at least after it, that the way I look at it, right, and I know this will sound mad, and I just caught the last bit of Stelios's opinion on that, right? So I know this will kind of be an opposing view to his, but I think we as a club and as a fan base need to fucking humble ourselves a bit. I don't know. For me, we finished 17th twice, and our squad quality is not good. So I don't mind a Robertson who is maybe a little bit past it, but I still think he is at least of the same quality or better than what we have in the team currently. And I think we desperately needed left back depth for a long time. Like 2 or 3 seasons, we had no left backs, and Spence had to play there. And when Spence played there, Porro played 24/7. So I just think, listen, we often say about being smart in the business market, right? Smart about transfers. For me, that's a smart transfer in my opinion. Listen, I'm not like wowed by it. It's not like I think Robertson will come in and redefine fucking left back position for Spurs or whatever, right? But I would much rather have Robertson on the bench or in the starting lineup and Udogie on the bench than be left with Davies or nobody, right? I look at it that way. So
that's pretty much how I see it as well. I don't think it really makes anyone right or wrong. It's just we just got different views on it. That's all. And I can see where Stell's coming from as well. But I've got to agree with what you were saying more and what Mia's saying more. I think he gives us that bit of rotation and also that bit of experience that we just have not fucking got there. And as rotation and a start, I don't think it's a bad idea. Now, the other one we're meant to be looking for on a freebie as well is John Stones. Now, that's one more where I'm split down the middle on that one. I don't necessarily... I think he's a very good defender, and I still think he is a good defender. It's just he's fucking injury prone. And he's meant to be another one we're seriously looking at.
Yeah. That's my issue with John Stones. It's that he's seriously injury prone. Like, if you look, wait, just let me see how John Stones. Let me see how many minutes he played, because I believe that for the past like 2 or 3 seasons he hasn't played much. Yeah, wait, just let me check. yeah, this season he played 1,000 minutes, 18 matches, mostly from the bench. And last season, I believe the situation is kind of similar. Wait, just 1,000 minutes last season too. So it's. I get the listen. I know it's a kind of contradictory thing with that I would say right now, but I said about the Robertson's experience and whatever, and Stone is also an experienced player, but I would much rather have someone that is available like Robertson, because Robertson hardly gets injured, right? Whereas Stones, like, what benefit does it have to bring him in if he is going to miss like 2/3 of the season? It's not as if we don't have fucking injury problems already, right? Why bring another one?
Yeah, for me, I'd rather go for the one on the free that we're going for, their sensor. I'd rather go for him from Bournemouth on the freebie personally. I mean, what do you two reckon on that one, going for something like John Stones? I mean, still I can predict what you're going to say anyway, but I'm going to have to make you right on when you do say it.
I don't want him. I think he's injury prone. I don't want any injury prone. When we signed Maddison, I was really happy we signed Maddison. I didn't know much about his injury record, but Wayne Holland, who supports Leicester City, he said to us all, they call him a third. He's a third fit, a third injured, and a third something else. I can't remember what it was. Doesn't play well. You're only going to get a third of a season out of him. And I said, all right, well, maybe it'll change at Tottenham. It got worse, right? It's the same nonsense. So I think a club like ours, who massively suffers from injuries and who's got really a problem that. Well, Michael, do you know what? Michael.
Yeah.
Robertson's not.
Yeah, I understand your opinion, and I'm not even against it, right? I just think I don't mind the signing. Let me put it that way, right? It's not that I'm excited about it, but I think if you told me we slap like 50 or 60 million pounds on a left back and do not bring an attacker, because that's how it goes with this fucking club, right? We know that we aren't going to splash cash on every single position that we need, right? So, and I know Udogie is not everyone's piece of cake. Listen, I am 50-50 on Udogie, right? I think for those 2 or 3 games that he's fit in a season, he actually plays quite well. Then he has like 5 to 6 average ones, and the rest he spends on a hospital bed, right? So
I would just say I'm going to use piece of cake instead of cup of tea now. It's not everybody's piece of cake, because that's proper funny. I love it. My mum used to do the same when she first learned English. She'd mix up the sayings.
Yeah, my bad. Sorry.
That's okay. I think it's actually really funny when you hear that. So I'm going to use that from now on.
No, Englando, not my first language, right? No, but coming back to what I was saying, right? I would rather have Robertson and us spend money on a striker than bringing in like a 60 million pound left back and no strikers, right? Because that's how I think this club operates, right? And until I'm proven otherwise, I will have that approach to whatever Spurs do, right? Because like all that bollocks that they gave us, right? Every fucking one, like Venkatesham, fucking Charrington, Lewis's, like every single one of them gave us promises and we are going to do better. It's unacceptable. Yeah, whatever, mate. Like fuck off. Like I am beyond caring about words. I need actions right now, right? So again, as I said, like Robertson, I don't mind. Let me put it that way, right?
There could be worse for a squad player, basically.
Yeah.
I think I know what's going to happen next. Dietrich, how you doing, mate? Go on, let's have your cut on this.
How's everyone doing? Not too me, my personal opinion, I'm not a fan of Robertson. I think he's a bum. For a couple of years, hasn't been to the levels, and I'm sick and tired of replacing Ben Davis for another Ben Davis. Is he an upgrade on Udogie? No. Is he not going on Jet Spence on the left? No. So what is the point of signing him? I know he's a freebie, but people said we want like players that are going to play the De Zerbi way, but we're about to sign Robertson last year before De Zerbi. So is it a De Zerbi sign or a club signing? That's my issue.
That is a question I was actually going to ask. Like, do you think that De Zerbi's actually interested in this, or have the club just actually put it on him?
And the same way with Senesi too. Like I like Senesi, but is it a De Zerbi or a club signing?
I mean, if they go to him and say to him, "Are you happy to have this player?" and he says yes, I mean, then what? Like, if he said, "Yeah, I am," we don't know in it because we don't know what's been said and what's not been said. We'll know in it if they get played, if they're going to get time or not. Well, I suppose the way he is, but I can't see it being a big problem because, as I say, we need to think realistically about our squad. What we need to do this summer is massive, and we're not going to get it all done. So I feel like the important space, like to spend money in the important areas, is the first priority. And so I feel like that getting these sort of players that are decent players to get when they're free isn't the end of the world.
But Mia, the issue is not the squad right now. We don't have 11. A good starting 11. Instead of building a squad, build your 11 and then slowly move up. Same way Arsenal did it. They didn't have a good 11, built the 11, and then year by year start building an amazing squad.
And that took time, and they didn't have great players to start with when they first done that. They didn't have these amazing players to start with. If you look at their squad and how it rotated, it wasn't the greatest to start with. It wasn't like any Arsenal fan will tell you. It wasn't the most fantastic where you can go, oh yeah, this player. It took them time to build up a squad.
But I don't want to build a squad. I want to build an 11 first, then we build a squad.
Everyone complains we don't have a good enough quality squad as well. So I don't like the fact is we still need a squad. But we can't just say we want the quality 11. I don't think when you think of the actual positions that we actually lack in the most, it is the forwards. Because defenders, when you look at that, we're not actually lacking that badly. Even if Romero goes, I don't think we're lacking in that midfield. If we get Paulinho and we've got Bentancur, Conor Gallagher, and we've got Maddison and Xavi, I feel like actually that's not something they're going to be overly concerned about in a massive way. So it's the forwards that we really did lack the quality. So I feel like building a squad and getting forwards, we're not going to get it all done. We're not going to get everything done.
Well, I'll just
where is the priorities then? Go on, Dietrich.
No, my priority for me, if you look that back forward, that midfield, that forward line, and that keeper got you 17th twice in a row. So instead of focusing on one thing, like let's say the Robertsons, the Senesis, where I like Senesi by the way, build a quality starting 11. Get four. If you told me right now we're getting only 4 players, but 4 quality players, like Manu Kone, like I'm just using them as an example, like Savinho. Then I'll say, you know what? It's good. We got good 4 players, spent 200 million on 4 excellent players. We did our job.
Is that going to happen?
And then what happens? And what happens if they're injured and we haven't got the squad? You're going to complain that we haven't got the squad
No, I wouldn't
replace them.
No, I wouldn't complain that we don't have the squad. For me, our biggest issue is the 11. We lack the 11. Because if you look correctly, if Romero goes, we have Danso, good. Then we have Dragusin, okay. Then we have Vuskovic is coming back. Midfield, I think we're stacking midfield, but we need more than that. We need like ball playing midfielders. For me, we just need a couple, like legit a couple of like those anchors, and then we build next season.
I get where you're coming from, but if you can build the squad at the same time as well, I
mean, we know we don't do the same thing. I'm just saying, like, I'm just using it as a Spurs perspective. We don't do 2. We only do 1 or the other.
But don't you also think that you've got to understand we are only Tottenham? That is all we are now. 17th back to back. Who do you think we can actually attract?
Yeah, but if
Savinho, is that going to happen? That's
okay. Who's a bigger club? Also Bournemouth, but they still find a way to find gems, better players than us.
Yeah,
Bournemouth are better than us.
Yeah, they're better than us because they
not a bigger squad.
Because instead of
club, not a bigger club.
Instead of building a squad, they build an 11, and then that's what they do. We need to find the quality first before building a squad.
But if that deal's there, don't you snap it up there and then? That's what people complain that we don't do.
You know what? Dietrich, if I quickly can come in, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
Because I think when you look at our defense, right, we have what? It will be Van de Ven, Danso. If we sign Senesi, then he's on the left. Possibly Vuskovic and maybe one other, right? Because like Dragosin is supposed to be going and Romero, we assume, going, right? But that's like 4 center backs that you have. On the right, you have Poro and Spence, and on the left, you have Udogi. And if we add Robertson to that, technically you have like 8 players for that defense, right? Listen, I know we can up the quality on certain like positions, right? But I would say that's like, let's put it like a solid back 4 and coverage, in my opinion. Whereas forward line, we have Kudus and fucking nothing, right? It's literally nothing, right? I think all of us would sell all of them in a heartbeat, right? Because like Tell, wank, Richarlison, wank, Solanke, wank, Kolomwani, thank God he's going, right? Odobert injured until 2027. Like Kulusevski, God knows if he's still alive, right? I see same picture.
Yeah, I don't
again and again, right? Listen, today we had news because the Swedish national doctor said something about his rehabilitation, right? So that's like first thing that we heard about him for half a year. So like I am same as you, Dan. I don't know if this guy will ever play again, because like it's not normal to have over a year of rehabilitation on an injury, right?
2 different injuries from what I've
2
read.
different injuries. Like
people
people have their legs broken, like open bones sticking out, and come back quicker than Kulusevski does, right? So, like for me, even if, like, let's say in next 4 months he actually comes back and is able to play football, right? It will take him another half a year to become a footballer of a certain level again, right? So the reason why I'm saying this is, I think you can complete the back 8, let's call it that way. So like 4 starters, 4 backups, right? If you can complete back 8 without spending much money, then you can actually improve in the forward line. That's how I'm looking at it, right? Because I don't think this club will do both buying the forward line and buying a good left back, right? Like I doubt we will spend this much money or even any money at all.
So what do you think on Savinho then? Still, I'll go with you because you've already mentioned. What do you think on Savinho then? I don't think he's a bad idea. Again, it's another thing where I think we've got to take a step down of the sort of players we actually want to what we can actually get. And from what I've read, his price has gone down to about 40 mil. From what I've read, I can only go by what I've read.
His price has gone down because there's 1 year less on his contract. He's a top player.
And he didn't play much last year.
His first season at Man City, he was only second to successful dribbles to Doku, and he was only second to big chances created to Bernardo Silva. So just imagine, he came second for big chances created and came second for successful dribbles. That is not bad at one of the best clubs in the world. The issue he's had at Man City is, at Girona, he was phenomenal, absolute talent. The issue he's had at Man City is, number one, it's a tactically demanding club to play for. Pep is meticulous, which is why he slowly integrates players into his team. They don't really blow up until the second season, especially young players. Secondly, he kept being switched between the left and the right flank. He's better on the right flank, inverting onto his left foot. And I also think this year he suffered quite a bit from injuries, which really hindered him. But as an absolute player, if you look at what he did at Girona, if you actually look at his first season at City, assist-wise and goals creation, he's brilliant. Where he's dropped off a bit, though, is his goals scored. But I think that's more of the way Pep played him. The same thing happened to Jack Grealish. Jack Grealish was phenomenal at Villa. At City, he was, I think, overcoached. And some of his... Because Jack Grealish was given the freedom of the park at Villa and Savinho was given the freedom of the park at Girona. Whereas at Man City, it's more controlled. The only weakness The only big weakness he's got
You don't score.
is his defensive attributes are shit. His defensive attributes are shit, Dan. If we
He's
want
not a top scorer
a
either,
wide
is he?
player to drop back and be defensive, at Girona, he was okay. He's dropped off at Man City. He's definitely dropped off at Man City. So the second thing he would have to improve is his finishing. But I do think as well at Man City, there's such an emphasis on Haaland and getting the ball to Haaland. That's not. Man City were at their best when they didn't depend on one striker, where they had an array of players that would all contribute.
When they
to the
didn't
goal.
have a striker was probably when they were at their best.
Still,
Well, they
can I
always
just-
had a Leroy Sané, a Jesus. They always had somebody. But look, I don't. The difference between Savinho becoming a really good winger and a class winger is he's got to improve his finishing, like you said, and he's got to be consistent with it, his play. But I think the inconsistency this year came from him being injured a lot, and also Doku actually had a really good season, and that kind of held him back a bit. But as a player, Dan, when I look at what we've got and what this guy's capable of, he's only 22. He's not like Robinson, who's almost at retirement. At 22, with talent, with skill, under a manager that's going to give him freedom and play attacking football, I think it's worth paying the money. And I think he'll be better than any of our attackers other than Mohamed Kudus.
Still,
That's
can I
my
just add something quickly? You said
because
he's better on the
He's
right.
30, right? Robertson is 30. He's not like
Yeah.
38.
Yeah, you said he's better on the right, Savinho. I disagree because I watched him at Girona. He is a natural left winger. I know it's weird, like he's left-footed, but he's so much better on the left wing. Because where he had his
Oh, so
best
this
season
is
was on
him on
left
the right?
wing. No, if you look, actually, if
He
you
was
go
on the
look,
right.
no, he was on the left. Go check. He was actually on the left. It was the other
Yeah,
one, the
I
Ukrainian.
think
It was
No,
the
the right.
Ukrainian.
Yeah, at
Is
Girona,
you-
he was on the left, right?
Yeah, and it was a Ukrainian that was playing on the right. A Ukrainian right
No,
wing.
sorry, no, you're right. No, you are right. You are right. No, you're right. You're right. You're right. You're right.
Yeah,
And
good,
where
because-
it struggled at Man City, they played him on the right wing,
Right,
and he's
yeah.
not a Mahrez like
You're
cutting
right,
with his
then
left
the
foot.
right. Yeah, because Doku. You're right. Because Doku plays on the right. No, Doku plays on
No,
the left.
Doku plays on the left.
Doku plays on the left, so he had to play on the right, and that's why he struggled, right?
Exactly.
But still, because I agree with like vast majority of things that
One
you
sec.
said.
Mark,
right?
if you want to jump on, send me a
Right.
WhatsApp, mate, and I'll send you a link. Go on, Mike. Sorry.
My only issue with Savinho is that like this whole season and a big chunk of the previous one, we said that we need goal scorers, right? That this team doesn't score goals, that the forward line lacks goals, right? We always say this, like Solanke doesn't score goals. Simon scored 2 goals in a season, right? Kudus scored 3. Like Richarlison scored 10 tap-ins, right? And we say all those things. And Savinho is a supremely talented footballer, in my opinion, right? And I know he has previous of scoring goals in Girona, but it was, 2 seasons ago, right? Or 3 seasons ago. I am just a bit concerned that we buy the guy and he just doesn't score goals. Kind of like what Kudus did. There was a lot of wind about him, and he was just dribbling past players, like cooking left backs, cooking right backs, right? There was like he was everywhere, just didn't score goals, right? And sometimes assisted. And I'm just worried a bit that what we need right now is more of a goal scoring winger rather than a creative type of winger, especially because our strikers don't, at least now, what we have now, our strikers don't really score goals, right? Or
Yeah.
only the on a play chances or like some match sheet, right? So, sorry,
But
quickly,
Michael,
right?
one of the reasons we don't
for
score is because we don't provide any service to the players.
And
yeah,
Michael, we don't provide service to the players.
my
Solanke
thing-
spends half the time dropping to the
yeah,
halfway line.
exactly
Doesn't
my
get the
point.
ball, whereas Savinho, he delivers, he creates.
So exactly my point, right? Because Solanke drops down so much, right, and he's never in the box. Why have a creative type winger when you have no striker in the box, right? So then for me, with a Solanke that drops deep, you need more of a goal scoring type of winger, right? So for me, if we buy Savinho, we also need to buy a goal scoring striker. So someone that they can provide for, right? Because both him and Kudus, let's just say we have Kudus on the right
listen,
and
we
Savinho
need
on the left.
strikers regardless.
Yeah. That's my point, right?
We
so
need
a good striker
strikers
with
regardless
Savinho.
because our strikers are all shit.
Yeah, I agree. So I'm saying that
We need a
buying...
striker no matter who we sign. All,
yeah, but
am I lagging,
even more with Savinho, in my opinion, right?
know.
Yeah, maybe you are a
So-
bit, because like we are trying to
I
talk
think
over
I'm
each other a bit, right? But my point is that I all for buying Savinho. I just think with Savinho we need to buy a striker, because without like a goal-scoring striker, Savinho will not be effective. That's what I'm saying,
that's true.
basically, right?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
But without signing a Savinho, whatever striker we sign is going to be ineffective because we're not supplying them. The quality of the cross in this team is awful. The
It's
through
terrible.
ball, Savinho can play a through ball. Only Maddison can play a through ball, or Xavi Simons when he's fit. Michael, we need to fix a lot of things. The whole front three
I
needs
know.
to be changed.
We need to get some technical players, don't we? Some
I
players
honestly-
with like
honest-
playmaker, basically.
Honestly, I don't think we're gonna struggle finding a winger because they're out there. Like, there's so many wingers in this market. I think finding a striker, I can now name you one. I legit, other than Vlahovic, and even Vlahovic is a big gamble. I don't know anyone else.
No, I
It's
would say
striker
about
market is-
the Salvinius thing. I think for the money that they want for him, I think that actually we could probably look and get somebody who can actually cross and score goals, because I think that's something that we need to be able to have across the front three. And I just don't know if he's got that. And he's young. Again, he's still quite a relatively young player. We're all saying we don't really want that kind of a youngster that could develop. We want somebody who's going to come in if we're going to bolster our front three, because that's the most important area. Surely we need people with a bit more about them, a bit more experience and a bit more quality about them, because that's where I would want to spend our money, is in that front three, because that's important.
You know who I would buy from City rather than
Marmoush.
Savinho? Marmoush, yeah.
Yeah, I like
I don't think he'll come to Spurs, guys.
Yeah,
I
I
think
know
he
he
would.
won. I know he won. But if you gave me freedom of choice, I would, or realistically, right? Because obviously I would like Haaland, but Haaland is out of picture, right? So
It's also players we can get, isn't it? I'm just trying to be realistic of players we can get. I think we can get Savinho because he hasn't had much football, basically. I think that is a possibility, and De Zerbi might have that little bit of pull as well. I mean, it's like other ones going through the list as well that a lot of people don't like. Greenwood. I'd snap him up all fucking day long, personally.
Greenwood is my dream signing on the wing. Do you know why? Because he has the GA and he's gonna piss off the fan base. So he gets good things in one.
Oh Lord.
Everything to spite the fan base.
No, honestly, the amount of shit we're gonna hear from the supporters trust is gonna be freaking hilarious if we sign him.
Oh, let him get the fucking rainbow flags out as well, as far as I'm concerned. I couldn't give a shit. As long as he does the fucking job, that's all I care about.
Where are all the protests about Roberto De Zerbi, guys? Like, magically disappeared when he kept us up, right?
Well, I mean, Mia, what's your call on that with Greenwood?
Change for Tottenham need to apologise because they came out, a couple of their leaders came out slamming De Zerbi and everything, so they need to apologise.
I think when it comes to actually having, like, the De Zerbi slander was absolutely a joke. I don't understand why people were slandering about that. It was absolutely ridiculous. But when it comes to actual Greenwood coming to us, I think it will just put heaps of like eyes on us, criticism. They're gonna, every time we go anywhere, he's gonna get booed. There's gonna be so much more talk about us, and I just don't want that. I feel like we don't want eyes on us for that reason, and I feel like that it will bring that. And that's why I wouldn't want him. Not because the thing is, what happened. Yeah, he's still with her. They've had kids. That's none of my beeswax. But it's obviously what will happen as the repercussions of him being at our club. I don't want, because give them people in the media any excuse to slag us off and say crap about us, and they will do it. And I don't want any more of that than we need to have, Joe, because they like to make up BS about us all of the time. So I don't particularly want that.
Can I just say something about his
go on.
attitude? The fact that he still performed in one of the hardest clubs in France, in Marseille, says a lot about him. I don't think he would be an issue if like clubs, like even fans start booing him. Because if you can manage the pressure of Marseille and still outperform your GA,
Yeah,
I don't think it's
I
gonna
get
be an
you.
issue. And
Ma-
even people saying like, "Oh, we're gonna get the bad PR and stuff." Wasn't it Alonso that killed one of his friends like driving, and he still got like so much crap about it, and everyone forgot about it?
Yeah,
Was it
like
Which,
people,
Alonso?
the Chelsea Alonso, right?
Yeah, the
I
Chelsea
Yeah, yeah.
Alonso.
he had a car crash.
Yeah,
He
so
had
I
a
don't
car
think.
crash or something, and I
Yeah,
think someone died in that car crash. But
yeah,
Yeah,
someone
yeah.
died out of the car crash, and they gave him shit about it, and then people forgot. I don't think.
They didn't. I don't think they did forget though, because I remember him still getting chants. Like I don't think that actually never did stop. They would still sing that song at him, but that's not the point. Like, do we need any more drama at this club? We're already a club that's like full of bloody dramas. Do we need any more? I don't think we do, personally.
I don't think it
That
matters
I
what
can
we
agree
do.
with.
We're a fucking. I don't think it really matters what we do. We're a drama club. I mean, the fan base is about as fucking drama as Game of Thrones, for fuck's sake. And with that aspect, as long as he comes on and performs, and I agree with Dietrich. I mean, Marseille ain't no fucking bitches out there. That's for sure. I mean, they're more like if I'm gonna compare their fan base, I'm gonna say they're more like Lazio. I think is what I describe their fan base to. I mean, they're quite savage, that lot. And I think if he can handle that there, personally, I think he's got the mentality and the attitude to come over here and basically say, all right, you want to call me that? Fuck you. I'll go and score 2 goals. But that's just how I see him as such. I mean, Stel, what's your take on that? Oh,
I actually don't know. I actually don't know.
Oh,
I'm
you're
in the
proper on
middle.
the fence with this one then.
Yeah, I'm in the middle.
Why?
It happens. Sometimes
Come
I just
on,
don't
give
have
us
an
both
opinion.
sides. No, come on, give us both sides of this one. You've obviously got a reason why, and you've obviously got a reason why not, and that's why you're sitting on the fence. So why are you sitting on the fence? And don't get splinters.
Stell's running like the Cyprus internet.
No, I think he's just trying to work out a way how to put this across. Which
No, he wants to be politically correct.
Look, as a footballer, I like him, right? As a footballer, I like him. I think he's a good football player.
Is he better than Kudus or not?
No, Kudus is excellent.
You're insane. You're insane. You're absolutely insane.
You don't think? Hold on. Why is it? Hold on a minute. How is he better than Kudus? What's he done?
He has more goals, more assists, and he's more consistent. A lot more consistent. He played in Premier League, more consistent than him, and played in Ligue 1, more consistent. The data shows it.
I do think you'll get more goals out of him.
Even in Man U.
The French League's only got the French League's only got 2 or 3 teams really.
Well, look him at Champions League. He scores. Man U, when he was at Man U, still scoring and assisting.
It's a tricky one.
Look, I said I like him as a football player. Right? I'm not saying I don't want him, right? I like him as a football player, and I think there's a lot to be had. But why I'm sitting on the fence is I don't give a crap about woke or other people's views on personality. I make up my own mind. Mm-hmm. I just feel with all the drama we've had at this club and the constant circus that we are, if Greenwood came to Spurs, we'd have problems with the fans. The media would jump on it. People would stir it up. And I you know what it is, Dan? I just don't want any more frigging drama, man. I just don't want the and drama will come with him. Some people will love it. Some people will thrive off it. Like, yeah, right. I just
like Dietrich.
Dan, look at the comment of Paul.
Dietrich will be on every show. Dietrich will be on every show. I just feel the last thing we need is to give Sky Sports a reason to bash us, a reason for TalkSport to bash us, a reason for this person to bash us, a reason for that fan base to bash us, a reason for our own fans to divide again, like we do when we sign a player. We signed Timo Werner, it divided the fan base. We signed Richarlison, it divides the fan base. If we sign Greenwood, it will divide the fan base. I just
I
want to sign players
get
that
your
don't
point.
have drama attached to them. Do you get it? But as a player,
get-
Dan, I'd have him. As a player, all day
Yeah.
long, I'd have him. Of course.
It's just the sort of excess baggage, isn't it? It's like when you pull that 31-year-old who looks to peace and that, but it comes with excess baggage. Basically, you don't want that, and I get where you're coming from. And Levy's knees, thanks a lot, mate. I appreciate that. Ain't for 10th when it's 2 points off Sunderland. I mean, 10th place is a major improvement from the past 2 seasons, in my opinion, in that aspect. And Tony as well, member for 22 months. Cheers, mate. Appreciate it. We will finish top 4 next season. I shit you not. Well, I'll beg to differ on that one, but we shall see. But you know what? With that Greenwood thing, I do get both sides on this one. I do understand the both sides on this. As a player, personal opinion, I'd snap him up all day long. I think he's a much better player than anything we do have. I think he's better than Kudus because he will give you more goals, definitely. And that is the one thing we are slacking. And that is one thing Kudus don't do. He don't really score goals. And we are saying we need a frontline 3 that can all score goals, basically. With the excess crap that comes with him, I can understand it's going to divide. I can understand that it's going to have different opinions and whatever. Me personally, I couldn't give a flying fuck as long as he performs on the pitch. But I can understand how other people don't want the excess drama with him as well, because Spurs are the biggest drama queens out there. So do we need the extra drama? I do get that. Go on, Mike. You were going to say something. Sorry.
Yeah, I was kind of going to echo what Stel said, right? Like purely as a footballer, go and get him, right? But I agree that there was so much shit going on around our club, right? There it still is so much shit going on around our club. Like so many things that people get divided on. Even Roberto De Zerbi, when we were appointing him, like the amount of like shit throwing that this fan base was performing was honestly off the scales, right? So listen, I think we can get players of similar quality to him without the additional baggage, right? So I'm kind of in the camp where maybe choose the lesser evil, let's put it that way, right? Just go for the lesser evil. And evil, again, like I'm not judging morally or whatever. I'm just saying that there is a lot of like context on top of signing Greenwood, right? Which, as Stel said, we already like we are split as fuck as a fan base. People, like vast majority of the clubs in the Premier League don't like us and already give us a lot of shit. Why add on top of it, right? I honestly, you know what my dream for this season is, this upcoming season, to just go through a year of football, just enjoying the sport without the additional drama, without like fucking injury crises, free managers, fucking relegation battles, you know, just give me
a stable season.
I honestly don't want media to talk about us in the upcoming season. Just be boring, right? Just take the eyes of the footballing court off of us. That's what I want, right? And I think bringing in Greenwood would be the exact opposite, right? It would just put all the spotlights on us, right? Because I bet you that all 20 Premier League clubs thought about bringing him back, right? And all 20 of them decided that maybe PR-wise it's not the best idea. So maybe I don't know, like again, not judging him as a footballer, but the additional context around it kind of sways me away, right?
It just wouldn't necessarily do favors, would it?
Yeah,
I can see where you're coming from. Personally, I'd snap him up, but I can totally understand why not as well. Why do you want the excess baggage with it? Basically, we've already got enough of that.
It's basically adding fuel to the fire that already is the shit show that's Tottenham. Do you know what I mean? And that's just not something I personally would want. And I can obviously, I said that anyway, and obviously Stel and Michael think the same, and I think it is true. Like, it's just adding fuel to the fire, man. Like, just let us not be seen. Let us just get on with it, play football, and not have any media speculation and BS that we've had this season.
I mean, yeah, it is excess baggage that comes with it, but it's like I've said before, like as long as they perform on the pitch, that's where I go with that. I mean, other question I'll ask you then, before I cut this, is Porro, City. Really? Would you take that? I mean, because you know my attitude on Porro. I think he's good wing back. I think he's good at going forward. I think he's an absolutely shambolic defender. And I don't think we're going to play with wing backs again.
I don't want us to sell him.
No?
No.
Go on.
Yeah, I think. Listen, we all mentioned the injuries, right? Who was the one player that survived the shit show for the past 2 years? Porro. And we are playing him 24/7, every fucking game, 90 minutes, 70 minutes, 80 minutes, 90, 90, 90, 90, and whatever, right? And I think if we give him competition and cover, I think there is an amazing player there, right? I like the attitude. I like the skill. Or listen, I know he's not a good defender, right? But I think he more than makes up for it with whatever is going on up the pitch, right? And I think with De Zerbi, we looked much better defensively when it comes to like structure and all of it around, right? So I would give him a chance. I would, or not necessarily give him a chance. I would keep him because I think he's an experienced player. He knows the league. He all the fucking buzzwords. He's good going offensively. I would just let me put it that way. I think if we sold him, we just create another hole that we need to fill, right? So if it's possible, I would rather keep him, right? And just personally, I really like the bloke, right? I think he's a fucking passion merchant and I enjoy it, right?
He's got the right attitude for what you want in that aspect, isn't it? Even though he can be a little bitch sometimes, but name a Spurs player that isn't in that aspect. For me, it's more the fact of we just don't play him to his advantages. So I sell him, but he's not one that necessarily needs to go. I mean, Mia, how do you see that one with Porro?
Yeah, I don't think it's a top priority for us to sell. I feel like exactly what Michael said. I feel like that at the end of the day, we're just creating another problem for ourselves. And I feel like that we need to not do that right now with the amount of stuff that we need to be that needs to be done. So for me, I feel like we should keep him. And maybe I feel with with Spence, I don't mind Spence, but I think like he's got a bit of that funny attitude. So we have got someone maybe like someone that could compete with him. So I feel like that we've got to probably keep a Spence and a Porro, even if in my mind I would probably want to eventually maybe get somebody else. But I feel like at the moment that's a problem we don't need to create. So I would keep Porro because when he plays well, we play well. And I think that if De Zerbi can get the best out of him, I think that he still has got the ability to, the crosses he's able to do when he does do them well. And, he has got good ability. And I think defending wise, he's not the greatest, but I have seen a bit of an improvement. So if De Zerbi can improve him and he can go forward and start doing well when it comes to the more attacking side of things, I feel like he's a valuable player to have.
If we play him the right way, and we don't, that's the thing. That is why I'm quite willing to see him go. But then I suppose if City offer 60 million for him, I would take it personally. I mean, Dietrich.
I'm not Porro's. I don't think Porro had a good year this year, but I do think we need him for his crossing and his ability to invert in a De Zerbi system. So I don't think we can do much better than him right now. But going forward, if he doesn't have a consistent year, then yeah, we should look to sell him. But if you're getting like 60, 70 million from City, then yeah, just sell him.
Yeah,
because there's because if we can get like I'm just going like over the top, like Coyote from Brentford, then yes, I would take him over Porro.
No, I agree with that. And Paul, like you're asking me a question here. Dan, would you sign Party? Sounds like you would. Let me put something a bit straight to you. I have an attitude of you're innocent until proven guilty. And I knew bringing up this one would rattle a few people because people do love to have their opinions because we're all entitled to our opinions. But just to put a fact down quickly, if he was actually guilty and there was actually proof of it, she wouldn't have been able to drop the charges. She'd have said no, but the police by law would have had to take him to court. And plus, what goes from there? So the attitude I've got is innocent until proven guilty with pretty much anything. And if it turns out that certain people get prosecuted and done for it, then you treat it like that as it happens. But that's just a different opinion on that one. And that's all it's going to be. I just think things may be a bit different.
The one thing I will caveat with that is, I don't want to get political on this, but the fact is that a lot of those sort of behaviours don't get prosecuted, even if there is evidence. There are incidences where you'll come forward and it doesn't even go. It doesn't even. There's not enough evidence.
It's a tricky one.
It's a very. That's what I'm going to say. I'm not caveating that for that particular situation, but when I'm talking in general, it's a bit of a more of a complex one. It's not quite as black and white, if you like.
Yes, it's like Spurs. It's not all black and white. There's plenty of grey and rainbow in the colour as well, sort of thing. Nothing is as black and white as and that. I totally agree with you. It's just, for me, I still wouldn't say no to him, but then I still understand why Stell and others have said it's going to cause excess baggage on there, and people are just going to have different opinions to it because we're all entitled to it, basically, at the end of it. So with the Porro one, you'd keep him, Mike could keep him, you'd get rid of him, Dietrich.
For the right money, yes. Because for me, honestly, no player in this squad is untouchable.
Well, he did say there's 11 or 12 players that he'd keep, and going through a found of them, going through quite a few of them, there is quite a few of them you'd quite happily see the back of, isn't you?
Honestly, if you told me right now, I would start from zero and just rebuild this squad.
That's well and good, Dietrich, but that's not realistic. Let's be honest. If you look If you look at the players that I was thinking, the 10 or 12 that he said, there is realistically 10 or 12, because if you think about Maddison, Xavi, Conor Gallagher, if we do get Paulina, say, Van der Ven, Adogi, Porro, do you know what I'm saying? Like Spence. So when you add it up, that's actually not that far off of probably what he said.
But you see the issue, most of the players you mentioned are they have an ACL or they have a big injury, so you cannot get rid of them either way.
Yeah, or we do what Dave says here. We will sell Porro and then sack De Zerbi in a few months, and then Spurs just go on and on, basically. Right, I've got to go because I'm starving and I've got to do some stuff out the back. I say it won't be a fucking long show and it ends up 2.5 hours long. Right, Mia, you're doing some stuff. Where you going to be?
Over at Tottenham's Lone Wolf. I'll be putting videos out. I'm going to try and put them out on a more regular basis. So yeah, I will be doing that over the summer, talking about Tottenham, getting some guests on and having a discussion as well about what's going on at our lovely club.
Well, there's going to be a lot of news coming through. There's going to be a lot of rumours coming through. There's going to be a lot of debates going through on, is this one good enough? Is that one good enough? How should we do this? It's going to be very divided again, but it's not going to be until the end of the summer that we're actually going to see what's going on, is it? Yeah,
no, that's it. It's always a wait and seeing it with Tottenham. We can debate it, and that's what we do as fans and obviously content creators, but it's all on them to see what happens, who lines up when the first game starts.
Yeah, I totally agree. So time will tell. Right, Dietrich, cheers jumping on, mate. Stell, thank you. And sign up to Stell's channel, sign up to Mia's channel. Much appreciated, people. I'm going to go and have something to eat. Mike, thanks for jumping on as well. And I hope you get totally and utterly ratted tomorrow night. And yeah, good luck, because you're going to fucking need it.
And his liver, because he's going to be absolutely foobarred.
He's going to absolutely need it. Anyway, everyone, have a good afternoon. I'll see you later, and I'll be doing a show again soon. Take care.
Jump again.